need is your VIN number on hand. Drive awareness, drive hope, and customize your plate today at ease.org. That's ATEASE.org.
The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency is launching its Think Smart Before You Start campaign for spring break. The campaign is encouraging drivers and vacationers to put safety first before they head out onto the roadways in order to get to the beach. ALEA will also be increasing their patrols and enforcing traffic laws such as seatbelt usage, speeding, distracted driving, and driving while intoxicated. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. Did you know the current national average turn time to close on a mortgage is 48 business days? But not at Alabama Home Mortgage. At Alabama Home Mortgage, our average close time is 16 business days. That's a month faster than the rest. How do we do it? With over 60 years of combined experience in the industry. Our team knows mortgages. Our years of experience yield a better experience for our customers. Folks, time is money. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, don't waste time with another mortgage company, bank, or credit union. We close on time, every time. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our fast turn time is just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just one dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
This is a Trump country. We live in the Southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid.
Girl, baby girl. Oh, really? Won't even play.
Shut up, silly woman. Can you get a cough, please?
After damning politicians uphill and down Dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program here on a lovely Wednesday out of Montgomery, Alabama. I'm your host, Joey Clark. My trusty co-host, Eddie Bader, is here.
What's up, buddy?
He actually picked me up today. And it's like he's sitting at the little boy table today.
I know.
Like you changed chairs. That's a much more comfy chair, but you look so short.
I feel short, like I'm at
No,
the
I know
table.
how you feel looking at me now.
I'm at the kitty table, Joey.
Right. No, I was down at the State House earlier today.
How was that?
And it was great. Always great seeing Jeff Bohr in person. But, you know, there was a State House lady, a representative,
Okay.
and her aide. And I stood up. I think the aide was taller than me. And I thought of you. Thank you for that.
Well, Joey, I mean, not to be rude, but look around. There's lots of people.
And maybe that was just my self-esteem issues. Jeff Bohr can confirm it. Jeff Bohr joining the show now. Was that young woman taller than me, or is that just heels, Jeff?
Good question, because I couldn't see from my side of the table, but she was taller than me as well.
Yeah, just putting us to shame here.
Oh, wow.
But of course, folks, y'all got to check out the Jeff Poor Show, 106.5 FM, and he's been doing the show during the session live from the State House. I joined Jeff at about 9 this morning, and it was good seeing everybody. But one thing I brought up with you off air this morning is what's going to happen with all these tax packages. Eddie and I in particular really want to see the no tax on overtime stay true, but is that going to happen?
Probably not. Look, they boxed themselves in. They thought the overtime tax was not that big of a line item on their revenues. It turned out it was a much bigger. Or they will also say that the companies are kind of gaming the system by declaring some earnings as overtime and other earnings not overtime, so that the tax is not collected on the overtime as much as it is collected on, the salary. So they're paying them double time or time and a half or whatever. And how do you define overtime? There's all these nuance here that we're getting told that this isn't workable. We can't do it this way. So instead, they are taking, I think, $238 million hit on the ETF, on the Education Trust Fund budget. And they're going to do this penny on the grocery tax, and they're going to do some other taxes on retirement income and things like that. They're going to give exemptions to.
But it's not like we're hurting for the money. Are they expecting some big downturn? And when you look at these surpluses, say over just the last 5 years, they're immense. Our reserves are overflowing in many ways. I don't understand this hesitation to just do it. Like, you should have already done the 1 cent off the grocery tax without indexing it. Correct. So I don't. Is that going to sell as a big victory that we're doing the thing we already promised we should have done a few years back?
They're going to try to sell it that way, I think, for sure. And they're going to they're going to downplay sort of the whole idea about that overtime tax. I mean, they all took victory laps on it in 2023, right? I mean, everybody's like kind of patting themselves on the back. And I think they're just anticipating that no one's going to call them on it. The media doesn't do a real good job in this state. Present company excluded, but they don't really do a good job at framing the narrative. And I think Democrats, especially Anthony Daniels, getting very aggressive out there in his remarks to the press. But it's just, I guess these people don't really get it. How many people do you know that actually have overtime earnings, and that this is the way it's going to be spun? It's a good thing, but I think the way it needs to be presented is it is an increase on taxes, not to extend the overtime tax.
It's just, I find that frustrating. I think it's a good idea to just, you can do both. And, you're
exploiting your workers. You're inviting manufacturers in, and you're just basically exploiting your workers, because many manufacturers, Hyundai included, have mandatory overtime. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. Well, usually 6 months out of the year, you don't have a choice.
Well, Eddie, it's interesting because, like, I don't know that there is there's such a it's just defense of these budgets. Like, that is the biggest thing, and there's not talk about where to cut or whatever. And Joey, as you said, all these rainy day funds are pretty flush. Or was just on my show. He was my last guest of the day, and he's sort of like, well, the downturn's coming. You're going to start seeing these budgets shrink. You're going to start seeing these revenues shrink, and we're not going to be able to budget like we are. But I said, well, we've been hearing that for 5, 6, 7 years, and it hasn't happened yet. So, like, and he's like, in a year now it's going to happen. So they're still banking on this downturn, and that there will be some lean times coming.
So, and again, you got to talk to State Senator Arthur Orr, he's the chairman of the Education Trust Fund budget, I believe.
Right.
And so, I mean, how much of an increase are we talking, if you know off the top of your head, how much of an increase are we talking in the ETF and the general fund this year?
So the governor's proposed budget is $9.9 billion, and that's without a supplemental. That's up about from 9.3, I think, last year. But that's significant. That's not chump change, $600 million, which is more than any of those tax cuts combined, right? But, I mean, we go through this with teacher pay raises and the cost of things. But like I said, or insist that number is going to move back in the other direction eventually. And that's why they're reluctant to give permanent tax relief based on that growth, because he doesn't think that it's going to continue to grow at that rate. And I don't know. I'm not an expert. But like I said, we've been hearing this for a while, that there's this downturn on the way, and it hasn't happened yet.
Well, Jeff, do they not have any faith in the Trump economy? Because most of us that voted for Trump, we're looking for everything to increase. Sales of everything expected to go up, real estate, cars, the whole 9 yards. So do they not have any faith in their own president? Or is he just a bunch of old farts that are out of touch with reality?
Maybe a bunch of old farts out of touch with reality. But they will tell you, Joey and Eddie, they will tell you this. They'll tell you, but, we have economists and we have experts who apparently know a lot, and this is what they're saying.
Do they work overtime, those experts?
Well, the other thing, and the other thing that's kind of crazy about all that is the workforce participation level in the state of Alabama is very low. Yep. It's not, relative to the rest of the country, 56, 57, 58%. It kind of hovers in there, which is abysmal. And the idea is, how do you incentivize work? How do you get that number to change? And there's not much they can do. People just don't want to go to work or are going to go to work. But this was one of those. At least if you're not getting a higher workforce participation, you're increasing productivity, and that encourages people to go to work. But, I mean, the problem in this is the problem universally. You have a reasonably low cost of living in Alabama. You could probably make it on government benefits. And are you going to take a pay cut? Are you going to, maybe your bank account will have a little bit more money if you go to work, but that means coming off the couch and actually having to go to work.
Yep.
And there's just not the incentive there, because the cost of living and the wages are so low in this state that people just like, well, I'm making a rational decision, staying at home, smoking the bong and playing PlayStation all day.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not bad at first. And then you're 45 years old and you're like, oh, crap.
Yep.
Now, shifting gears here a little bit. Well, before I shift to the national, is there anything you've heard today down there at the State House that we should all be paying attention to?
No, not really. It's just kind of blocking and tackling stuff, or mental health court or whatever. The controversy was the Veterans Affairs stuff, and I think that storm has come and gone. The other one, I would say, and I don't know how much of your audience is really engaged in this, is the PBMs, the pharmacy benefit managers. And the news I would give you there on that is the Senate seems to have come together on a bill to be carried by Billy Beasley in the Senate. He's a Democrat from Barber County. But essentially you have this middleman, right? The PBM, and they're getting rich off of the system we have here, and they're fighting tooth and nail to keep it in place. And the legislature is trying to, I guess, take that profit motive out and because it's what it's doing in turn is causing these independent pharmacists to go out of business.
Well, we'll keep watching that. Honestly, I've not jumped into the details and into the deep end of that. So we'll see it play out. I'll just explain kind of my mood. I told you this morning I've been a little edgy. Like, I am overjoyed yesterday. I wrote about it this week. And then to see the splashdown of the stranded astronauts, to see the dolphins greet them there in the water saying, thanks for all the fish. Like, that's just great. And then I look elsewhere on Earth and there's like Tesla dealerships on fire. There's not just those on fire, but people like Jimmy Kimmel and many others, Tim Walz, trying to act manly, cheering on the decimation of a great American company. I mean, at this point in a little over 2 months into the Trump administration, kind of where do you think we are at this moment?
Way further than I would have thought. Now, I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to see how this liberal federal judge versus the Trump administration situation sort of plays out. But I had no anticipation. I thought this was going to happen like day one. You would have kooky federal judges who would stop everything, and they would give up like they did last time. Remember, it was the travel ban in 2017 that Stephen Miller and Steve Bannon tried to do, and they went straight to court, stopped it, and it seemed like the momentum from that point forward for the Trump presidency was kind of stymied. But the strategy this time around, and it's kind of brilliant. I mean, they've just flooded the zone, and the left's having a hard time playing whack-a-mole. And what it's doing in turn, what we've learned is this: people just like to see them doing something, looking like they're fulfilling promises and being proactive, and at least trying and putting forth the effort. And that's causing Trump's poll numbers to go slightly up. I think they're higher than where a lot of people would have expected. There's always a drop-off, this far into the presidency. But Democrats and their intransigence, it's dragging them down. They are unpopular. And they're even unpopular among their own base. They don't look like they're fighting enough. There's a bunch of different things going on, Joey, with Democrats and why their poll numbers are dragging right now. So and that's a problem for them. There's just no enthusiasm there. And if they want to capture any sort of majority in the midterms, they've got to figure that out in a hurry.
I think they do, and they got to rally around, I think, a message that actually sticks and sinks in. And maybe, like you see setting Tesla dealerships on fire because President Trump, the Doge team, everybody's sort of over the target. They're actually being somewhat effective here, where that has never been the case. Thus, you're going to get the over-the-top reaction. I'm still a little worried about the Republicans in Congress. I know it was a big deal for Schumer to cave on the shutdown, but I hope they don't wait till the next deadline, September. I hope they get a lot of the president's agenda passed, let's say in July at least, so these things can have an effect. I'm worried that you're going to have a delayed effect in, say, the economy if you wait longer and longer into this year. I don't know. Do you have a sense that the GOP is on the same page across all levels of government?
No, I mean, I think you're about three-quarters there. And I think they know the time is – I think it's a much different House and Senate than 17. McConnell's not in charge, and McConnell was just doing nothing but obstructionism. Recess appointments where, he was gaveling in and just doing things to make it very hard for the Trump presidency. Now he's out of the picture. And Trump's so popular, John Thune seems to be kind of playing ball with the Trump administration. We thought that would be a problem. It's turned out not to be. And he's got Mike Johnson kind of in his back pocket. Like I said, I think you still got a few senators who are not really keen on a lot of this, but they're going to go along reluctantly, and they're going to have to get there, at some point. He's in much better shape than he was in 2017. He's much better shape than a lot of presidents are, with maybe the exception of Obama, right after he won in 2008.
Well, man, it would be nice to win a Nobel Peace Prize just on the hopes that you're going to bring peace. That was quite a thing. Now, I know you were traveling up here to Montgomery last night, but did you have time to read the 60,000 pages worth of JFK documents dumped on the internet? And what's your takeaway?
Well, no, I have not, but I am really. It doesn't sound like there's a whole lot there. It's like this whole sort of cottage industry of conspiracy theories. There's some weird stuff. You and I are talking about it this morning, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't seem like there's a whole lot there, and it's just a little disappointing. But I don't know what we were to expect, that they were going to release these documents. And we're going to say, actually, it was our CIA working with, Oswald or Jack Ruby or whoever. Is that what we thought was going to happen? Or it was the Cuban government, or it was the Russians, the Soviets, or whatever? But it never really. It doesn't seem like it's going in that direction.
Yeah, and I think the goalposts are being moving. What about the call Johnson made, Lyndon Johnson made with the CIA director at the time? I mean, we need that call. And yeah, I just think it's a bit of a blind alley. What I want to know is the whole Thomas Matthew Crooks story, the guy who shot Trump in the head. I'd like to know the more modern, let's say, things conspiracies are woven around. Though I don't think we're going to get the Epstein files anytime soon either.
No, I agree with that. And then you would think Trump might be more, make that more of a priority since he was the target in that assassination attempt and what went on there.
Well, we'll see. And before I let you go, going from D.C. back here to Alabama, what's the latest with the whole Coach Tuberville saga? Anything else been kicked up in that?
I've been telling my ass that I've kind of fallen out of love with the idea, but I think this. He's always had this question about his residency, and I don't know where that's going to go. But there was a Bill Britt story. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt that Bill Britt's like telling the truth here. He's not just making stuff up. Tuberville claiming his home in Florida as his homestead is a problem. And look, the rules for Senate are different from the rules for governor. The rules for governor, the law for governor, statutorily, you have to have lived in the state for 7 years. Well, Tuberville meet that. Does he meet that requirement? With Senate, you only have to be there a day. You just have to have residency, and you're eligible to run. That was the case. Governor's going to be different. And now John Wall was on my radio show yesterday and said that he would absolutely, there's no reason to think, from what he can tell right now, that he would not qualify Tommy Tuberville to be a Republican on the ballot. Now, my suspicion is either Ainsworth or some of Ainsworth's allies will challenge that in court. They'll take that to court, and it's going to be litigated. And, that will be a news cycle. We will have daily updates, and it will just fester.
Yeah.
And the longer that festers, Joey, I think it eats at coaches' poll numbers.
Yeah, and even though we are in a new media age, especially in national politics, I think the old tricks that have long defined Alabama media are still there, despite best efforts, let's say, at 1819 News and trying to change, let's say, the culture and political culture around here. But I think we're all in agreement. Eddie has said it. He was early to the party, saying, "Stay in the Senate, Coach. We like you in the Senate."
And that's the way it looks like it's going to go. But if you'd asked me this question 2 weeks ago, he's pretty serious about governor, but that gubernatorial run maybe not as easy as he probably envisioned it.
Well, I always appreciate the time, Jeff. If folks want to check out what you're writing about, think about, talking about, how can they do so?
Twitter.com/Jeff_Poor.
Thanks, man. We'll do it again next week.
Thanks.
Again, folks, always great having Jeff Poor there. And he's not just host of the Jeff Poor Show, but also editor-in-chief at 1819news.com.
If Coach don't run, one of our buddies is going to be so mad. Craig. Because he'll be 0-2 on the betting.
Oh, what did y'all put up?
Another dinner. What you?
Another dinner?
Yeah. But still.
You're not third wheel in that?
You know you are.
Okay.
Got to have a driver.
We could go to Auburn. That's an easier drive.
They
got a lot of great restaurants.
Go to my buddy's
place.
the
place in Hope.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's waiting for it.
Actually,
and we're going to go there
great.
anyway. One day I'm just going to drag you guys over there. But,
right.
But
and I want to do this early because I'm mad at you. Thank you for picking me up today.
So what I do? Not pick you up.
No, you've been great today. But yesterday, I'm in the middle of the show. Byron and myself are sitting here doing the show, and I get a text from Eddie, kind of alarm me, going, "Where are you at?"
Yeah, dude, I was at Smokehouse. I thought we were supposed to eat breakfast, and I waited around till lunch. And
you didn't tell me that.
All right, I went by there after babysitting the kids, and I wanted something delicious to eat. So
what'd you get?
I ended up with a pulled pork sandwich because I was in a hurry, but I got their fries, which I love their fries.
Oh, they are good.
But believe it or not, Joey, in the car we were in today, it's a smaller car. It's kind of hard to eat a meal like that. So I had a lot of it on my shirt by the time I got to where I was going.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I think most folks around these parts would understand.
Yes, I think
you can go into the State House with some Smokehouse barbecue stain on your button-up white shirt, and they'd understand.
Well, I think they would just say, "Oh, he's keeping it real."
Yeah. How are those ribs, big boy? How's that pulled pork sandwich?
Man, it was good.
Man, and I'm looking at the menu right now. I think today I'd try some brisket.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd go with some brisket.
Good choice.
But, of course, they also have wings and also, as Eddie just said, barbecue sandwiches.
Yeah,
also, if you go to Smokehouse Pit Barbecue at smokehousepitbbq.com, look at the loaded barbecue potato.
I've had several of those before.
And it's your choice of smoked meat, cheese, butter, sour cream, scallions. You can add brisket even to it. Oh man, that
you won't finish the whole thing.
Good.
It's a 2 meal.
You could also get loaded mac and cheese where you add some of that barbecue meat to it.
That's a good choice.
And don't forget about their breakfast. They do Tuesday through Sunday, an incredible down-home breakfast. Those cheese grits are the best thing I've eaten in years. Really amazing stuff they do there at Smokehouse Pit Barbecue. So y'all stop by today. Same location they've always been, Main Street in Millbrook. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those hungry guys on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. My last message was the report for 2024 real estate market in the River region. According to industry experts, they predict for 2025, we will have more inventory to choose from for our buyers, more buyers for sellers to show their houses to. Here are 5 tips for buyers or sellers in 2025. Number 1, sellers need to price their home at fair market value with the help of your realtor. Number 2, buyers need to be pre-qualified by a local lender prior to shopping for a house to save them time. Number 3, use a certified residential specialist or CRS to purchase or sell your home. Less than 2% of realtors nationwide have this designation. You need an expert now. 4, use someone with 48 years of real estate experience to help you with your largest investment. Number 5, quit waiting. Now's the time to buy or sell. Call Bo Goodson at 221-2883, the Goodson Group, or 551-0225.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. At PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Hi, I'm Jane Ray, account executive with Blue Water Broadcasting. Why should you advertise with us? Frequency sells. The more ads you can get on the air, the better the chances it will make an impact. Radio allows advertisers an inexpensive way to get their voices heard over and over again. Contact me, Jane Ray, by going to bluewaterbroadcasting.com to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by MPM Feed and Seed. It's time to get those gardens ready. From seeds to plants to fertilizer, MPM has what you need. Shop MPM Feed and Seed in Prattville, 1313 Highway 31 North. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturdays, 8 to 1.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. Our big warm-up continues for one more day today, but big changes are coming up. Today's high in the lower 80s with a sun and cloud mix. We're dry through the evening hours tonight, but showers and maybe a few thunderstorms by late tonight and through the overnight hours, becoming windy, low 49. Then tomorrow, a brisk day, much cooler. High temperature only in the upper 50s. Winds will make it seem colder. A cold Thursday night with a low in the mid-30s with areas of frost on Friday morning. Friday, sunshine, high 67, up to 74 Saturday, near 80 Sunday with more sun. The next chance of storms arriving by Sunday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At CB&S Bank, we've been meeting the needs of our customers since 1906. Need help setting up new business goals? Our line of commercial loans can help you achieve them. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. So it was a lot of fun. Did you watch the Splashdown live?
I didn't watch it live, no. I saw it afterwards.
Yeah,
about 2 o'clock this morning, actually.
My grandfather and I, we watched it live.
Yeah.
And it's watching it live, you're like, and Elon Musk apparently said this last night with Sean Hannity. Like, I know everything can go wrong. So on these launches and on these returns, I'm like, hopefully that works. Hopefully that works.
Oh, I'm sure it'd drive him nuts.
Yeah, so here is that moment of splashdown. Really, just to me, this never gets old. Maybe to some of y'all it does, but to me, this sort of ability never gets old. Let's tune in.
This view coming from the WB-57 high altitude plane, and there you see it on your screen. Drogue deployment.
Drogue descent rate nominal.
You can hear the crowd here.
Visual on 2 healthy drogues.
Then a big chute launches out here in a second to slow it even more.
The crowd here very excited as Dragon Freedom continues to make its way back to planet Earth.
And the shot of the big chutes opening and then flying out, it really is it's remarkable
Next up,
stuff.
we'll stand by for the main deployment of the parachutes. The mains are quite a bit larger. You'll be able to notice the difference on your screen once they deploy, and they continue to ensure that the Dragon spacecraft slows down even further. As we mentioned, Freedom will be traveling 16 miles per hour when it splashes down off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida, here at 2:57 p.m. Pacific time this afternoon. And there we go.
We have visual on 4 healthy mains.
And then how they cut them as they hit the water so it doesn't get all tangled up. And do you know the Russians do the Soyuz craft is still ground landed?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they use chutes just like that, but they ground land it.
As cool as this was to watch, I really enjoyed it. I kept waiting for the inside camera. I wanted to see the look on those folks' eyes as the chutes are pulled. And for one, the relief. We're this much closer. I'm really surprised the young lady didn't kiss the ground when she got back.
But then this was much cooler.
Oh, yeah.
The Dolphins.
The distance there between... Oh, Dolphin Cam back again.
Those are actually Navy SEALs.
We can see that the Dragon capsule and the recovery vessel...
As they were bringing the recovery vessel over and the capsule sitting there floating, a whole pod of dolphins.
/ Navy SEALs.
Yeah. I think they were just saying thanks for all the fish.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. No, and they really were just swimming around, see what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
Popping
Just
up,
curious as they could be.
You ever swam with dolphins?
Actually, I have legally, but I attempted to illegally years ago. And my wife told me she would leave me at that particular moment. She was very graphic about the fact if I get out of the boat and swim with these dolphins in the ocean, she'd be leaving me, never to be found again. So I stayed in the boat with her.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. It was a good moment, though. We come up on a pod of dolphins. How often does that happen?
I'm like, so cool. I've never actually been in the water.
Oh, I stopped the boat. I'm putting my gear on. She's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm fixing to swim with these dolphins. And she's like, the blankety blank you are. And I said, okay, yes, ma'am. We'll just watch them then.
So that's just such a beautiful, awesome, just cool moment.
Yeah.
And yet, again, you look at other parts of Earth and you're like, oh, no. Like Israel, IDF now moving ground forces into Gaza again.
Did you not see that coming? Come on.
Well, that was always the most likely outcome.
Not everybody wants peace, man.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And, we'll see with Russia and Ukraine.
I find that pretty promising.
It seems promising. We'll see. Again, this is going to be quite a process, day by day, kind of check in on it.
Yeah.
But then you look at all the terrorism. Like, let's just blow up a bunch of stuff from Tesla. Let's cheer on their stock falling.
Not only that, I think some of it's kind of letting it happen.
Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you, never underestimate the political left's ability to destroy and desecrate things, good things they can never build themselves.
And we don't stop them, though, Joey. That's the thing. You and I both know, just like we go back to the pallet of bricks, if they wanted to know the truth, and somebody does, it could have been done and it could be stopped. But they're going to let this continue to build up until something major happens.
Well, and here's just a basic fact of life. It's much easier to take a crap than build a toilet.
Yep.
And seriously, there's all sorts of things. There's all sorts of things that we rely on in life that you want great people and great companies to build and do. You don't want them to take advantage of you in that process, obviously.
Right.
But generally speaking, when you can accomplish these things and have these services and products that make your life better, things as basic as something like a toilet. How many people could you build a toilet?
With a shovel.
Yeah, you can dig a hole in the
Yes,
ground.
sir.
I could do that too.
Yes,
but
sir.
like actually build a toilet, I don't have that expertise.
No, I know how it works and all, but I don't. It'd be a rough
But I
one.
certainly know how to use it,
Be careful
and I
for
certainly
splinters.
know how to take a sledgehammer to it.
Yes.
And again, I think this comes out. Maybe it does suggest that Elon and Trump and so many of these folks trying to right size the government and create more efficiencies are right over the target. And it's not just an efficiency thing, like, oh, we hate efficiency. No, it's more we have discovered your scam.
Yes.
And the very people that are on the hook of losing money are now spending that money to destroy things, again, they themselves could never build.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a pattern with the left throughout history. The excesses of it. And yet we continue the revolution. 272-9228. Let's go to Charles the First.
All
Hey,
right.
Charles, how you doing?
How you doing, Charles?
Hey, Joe. Hey, Eddie. Good to hear from y'all. I was going to tell you, I've got, I give you my first-hand experiences. I hope they're interesting and entertaining a lot.
Always.
But I have a first-hand experience about the Republican Party and someone running for election but not living where they were supposed to live.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm directly involved in what happened. Okay, so I live up here where Morgan County meets Madison County, generally speaking, okay?
Yeah.
And the city limits of Huntsville went across the bridge there, going toward Arab, to include Morgan County for once in our whole history. Have you got me?
Mm-hmm.
So that they're getting like a dock over there and coming toward Lacey
Right.
Springs and all that kind of stuff. And we've got our regular good old-timey county commissioner. But since that happened, somebody else wants to be county commissioner to control the Huntsville money coming over. Have you got me?
Yep.
So I went by where he's supposed to live. Grandparents' traders, what I'm assuming. But anyway, windows are broke out. It's grown up. Nobody could really be living there. And here's what gets you. We have 4 different commissioners. Now, if you make it past the date where you say you live there and nobody says anything, you get to say you live there. And he really lived in a more municipal place because the whole county votes for that area at the end. Have you got me?
Mm-hmm.
The whole county gives you your commissioner. So I called to see what I needed to do, and I got Mr. Fredericks up here, real nice guy with the Republican Party, and I'm a Republican Party member. And I said, I don't think he lives there. So he said, well, you've got till midnight to send me an email. Well, I sent it. Now, guess what happened at 4 o'clock in the morning, Joey Eddie? Somebody shoots the back of my car where my tag is and my back rear wheel with birdshot and my kitchen window.
Damn.
Yes.
Yeah. No surprise.
Wait, what year was this?
This was whatever would have been 2 cycles back with a county commission. Okay.
Yeah.
That's probably like 12 years. Okay. So I don't give up, of course. And they have a meeting. Well, they don't know if one person can actually stop this and do anything about it. So they had John Rell come to our JW Steakhouse here in the county, where they asked him, can anything be done? Well, about 5 more people had spoke up, but they were in conflict of interest, like they worked for the road county commissioner or something. And somebody spoke up and said, Mr. Woodall has no such affiliation. And John Merrill told them, Mr. Woodall counts. He's got, prove he lives there. So they set up a meeting for us to be at the Decatur Country Club, me to tell why he shouldn't be there and him to tell why he was. Got me?
Yep.
Well, I guarantee you, I promise you, they wouldn't have forgotten my speech if I'd have got to give it. But he backed out that day. And again, at 4 o'clock in the morning, my blue heater gets shot in the loose neck skin, y'all. And my little building gets broke into. This my smokehouse. And my dog shot. And anyway, though, you can do something about it, and you can tell how I am. I just don't like somebody doing the incorrect thing.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my dad never did. We went undercover to see if they'd sell to minors when we were younger, me and my brother. And my dad would say, mate, we got to make sure we're not entrapping these folks. Don't try to make yourself look any different age than what you are. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Sure.
That's just the correct thing to do. And these people need to be doing the correct thing to do. And I really like Tommy Tuberville. However, if it is the law that he's not supposed to, then that is what it is, y'all, as far as my opinion is concerned.
And because of that, but also all sorts of things. I think he's a good fit in the Senate. I think him and Senator Britt are a good team so far, and I want to see it continue. But I appreciate it, Charles. I appreciate
Hey,
the call.
Ray,
man.
thanks for having me on. Good day, everybody.
Good day. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health, and they're at Montgomery Men's Health. They're ready to help you fellas out if you're feeling run down and tired all the live long day. Seeing a loss of muscle mass, you're not sleeping well, like you're just waking up in the middle of the night, you're not really getting into that REM cycle, any deep sleep. You're seeing unwanted weight gain, loss of muscle mass, you're never in the mood, no sex drive to speak of. Well, it could, especially if all these symptoms are happening at the same time, could be low testosterone. So why not stop by Montgomery Men's Health? The providers there will conduct a testosterone focus lab workup. It's just a quick blood draw, really, plus a consultation for only $99. And the consultation is a few basic quality of life questions to help understand, say, the nexus of symptoms going on here. And then Montgomery Men's Health, if they get your score back, you do have low T, they have treatments there that can truly change men's lives. After treatment, men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother. That's right, brother. You all right, brother? I'm good. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased libido. And you can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. Let's go to Sergeant Slaughter.
That's what I got.
What's up, Puke?
What's up, sir?
Stop 10 and give me 10 if you can even count that high.
I can count that high, but I can't push up that far.
You can't do 10 push-ups?
I think if I had to right now. I took a tumble down the stairs the other night again. So.
Oh, Eddie, you got a waiver.
You okay?
Hey, I wanted I wanted to talk to you guys about something that was interesting. I just got done reading that disturbed me severely. And I understand now why, one of the many reasons why Nick Saban left college football in the University of Alabama.
Yeah.
What is that? Was it the likeness? What is that rule? The likeness rule?
Oh, NIL?
NIL, okay. Check this out. Our number one player in defense, okay? Billy, he came up to Billy Napier and he told him, get ready for this right here, that he says that Pyburn demanded $45,000 a month stipend, guaranteed.
Wow.
Playing time as an outside linebacker, a promise of playing on third downs, and increased snaps in the rotation.
Oh, good
seemed
God.
to be too much to hear for the Gator Nation, and hence preferred him to let him go.
Yeah,
This
no,
is
if you're
what-
going to start making demands like
Yeah.
that, you're not on the
No,
team.
you're
Go
not,
away.
You're not the
That's what he
team,
told him.
right?
That's what he told him. He says, you can go.
That's crazy.
That's what's going to
That
happen.
is crazy. I mean, you come in there with demands.
Yeah.
Well, especially ones
Right
that
out of high
are
school,
micro,
too.
like you can't run a nickel or dime package. Like
Well,
what?
you know,
Right.
who's that quarterback that's doing great in Denver, and he played for Auburn, and he was a good quarterback over at in Oregon.
Bo
What's his
Nix.
name?
Oh, Nix, Bo Nix, yeah. He's like 38.
Okay, well, you guys went through coaches like left and right, okay?
Oh, I know.
Yes,
so what
we do.
happens? The new coach comes in. His dad, I guess his dad used to play quarterback
Yes.
there.
Yep.
Okay. He comes to the new coach and tells him, well, he is going to be your starting quarterback next year, right? He goes, no. He said he's going to have to earn it. He says, what do you mean? He said, he's going to have to earn it like any other freshman coming off the street or a person who played backup last year or started. Everybody's going to start from the same starting point, and everybody's going to have that chance at winning the same position.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you didn't make that promise, you'd have about 3 or 4 players underneath you saying, hell, there's no sense in me trying because it's
Exactly
already
right.
given to this guy.
Yep.
I mean, there's no sense in me even going to this school because I'm never, even if I'm better. That's what I gave Manning such credit for him to stay as long as he has so far as a starting quarterback. And the only reason why he's a starting quarterback is because the starting quarterback is going in the NFL. Manning had to freaking wait. I bet you, I'd love to have seen where Manning would have gone had he not chose the NFL and he would have finished his senior year. But see, that's the problem today. Is this what coaches have to deal with?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Or worse, yeah. What about those players that don't really have the talent but think they do?
Right.
You
Or
know?
even if you got the talent, if you got a bad attitude, that's
Right.
awful.
Then you're not a team player. And, you know, in college sports, more than ever, it's important.
I didn't like Bo Nix's dad negotiating for him because I looked at it this way. Bo Nix was a good enough and a better player than he was given and coached up at Auburn,
yeah.
okay?
Yeah, oh, no doubt.
Because you found that out when he went to Oregon. You found that out in the NFL. He started in the Broncos, and took them to a playoff game last year, a wild card, and, that shows you what kind of player he is. And evidently Denver and John Elway knew what kind of person this guy could be. And I guess Auburn never decided to coach at that time, stall it and develop exactly what they had in front of him. But his dad evidently did and said, hey, he says, he is going to be playing a start. And he goes, he's not going to have to earn it.
Right.
And he's like, oh, no. He says, portal, hello, here we come.
Yep.
Oregon, as soon as he put him in there, Oregon snatched his butt, saw him on the list, probably the top 10 quarterbacks in the portal. And they got to him real quick and made him an offer that couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what? As soon as you put money into this, they're no longer amateur athletes. They're professionals.
Right.
This has got to change, gentlemen.
I agree. 100%.
Well, we'll see where it goes, but I appreciate it, Soldier Boy. I got to run. Thanks. 272-9228.
I don't think it'll change. I think it'll get a little bit worse before it gets better.
Yeah?
Yeah. Things always do.
Well, you could say you can't jump into the portal immediately.
You're right, but you're talking
or there's
about,
a huge penalty if you do jump.
Yeah,
like you got a year where you get away.
Yeah, 18, 19-year-olds, so they don't make rational decisions.
Well, no, and it shouldn't touch the private contracts, but it should be like once you commit to a school, the school's like, all right.
Sure.
And this would come down, I guess, to the NCAA to make all of these changes.
They
I know
would.
Tuberville was working with Manchin for a while. I don't know if they ever got anything passed in that regard.
I wonder how many people push against that, Joey.
True.
Well,
and this Alabama state legislature, we're trying to figure out how they don't have to pay taxes on all that NIL money because we want to win. But we can't give, permanent tax relief to overtime workers because of fears of recession.
The thing is, what's the overtime worker going to do? What are you going to do? Right. What really ticks me off the worst, and Alabama's some of the worst about doing this, they give you that only to take it away. There's nothing more infuriating. There's nothing you can do. It's the power that be. It's much like the time change, as much as we go back and forth about that. I don't think that'll ever change because politicians know that's another mind play they can play on you. I have the power. Yep. I can tell you what damn time of day it is.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by a great local business. One of my favorite sponsors, Pest Pro Services.
Oh, they're the best, Joey.
And Ashley and the team there are ready to help you out, especially now that we're in the middle.
Ooh.
We are in the middle of termite season. You seen some horror stories about that?
I had a buddy of mine, because we keep talking about the swarms. He sent me a picture of a swarm that he found. I guess most of it had passed because it was on the floor. But Joey, it looked like there was a gazillion little flying termites on that floor down there. So he said, if this is how many I see, imagine how many I don't see that are eating my house 24/7.
Exactly.
No thanks, man.
So if it's been years since you've even had your property inspected for termites,
right,
go ahead, call up Pest Pro Services, get in touch with them because you don't want to let a termite problem fester if you have one.
Correct.
But it first starts with just getting in touch with Pest Pro Services, starting the conversation at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. You can always learn more at ppsriverregion.com or just go to Pest Pro Services on Facebook. And be sure to tell Ashley and the team there that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now. For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
For reliable electrical services in Central Alabama, trust the experts at Crosby Electric. Crosby's licensed and insured electricians are ready to tackle any project for your home, from troubleshooting, repairs, to installing new lighting and preventive maintenance. And Crosby understands the need for quality service for small business. Crosby is big enough for the largest job, yet small enough to bring real value. Visit CrosbyElectric.com to schedule your service. Crosby, powering Central Alabama with excellence.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with An elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Mark. Welcome back. The news and views in the afternoon. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Austin Barenko with Invista Advisors. Hey, Austin, how you doing this afternoon?
Hey, great, Joey. How are you and Eddie?
Oh, we're doing all right.
Pretty
Good. Life's good. I guess it's everybody's holding their breath waiting for Jerome Powell, chairman of the Federal Reserve, he's speaking this afternoon, right?
Yeah, so markets are looking towards that, and I don't expect a ton of change. I think they'll hold rates steady, but what people are looking at is what is his language going to be like when he receives or when he talks about, heading into year end, can we expect any rate cuts? And, everyone's opinion is different. I don't necessarily think that rate cuts are what we need right now, but he may bend the knee a little bit and give an indication that we could have some rate cuts coming into year end. Inflation has cooled off slightly. Not enough to warrant a rate cut, so I doubt they cut. But really what we're looking for, like I said, is what does he talk about for the rest of the year? And based on what he says, expect a knee-jerk reaction from the market either way. If he has, a tone that indicates we'll have potential rate cuts, expect the market to leg up, a little bit, maybe 1 or 2% swiftly. And if it's the other way, expect it maybe to leg down a little bit. So that's kind of my take on it. I hate when we get so hyper-focused on the Fed and what they say moves the market. And in a short period of time, it will move the market up or down. But, if you're a long-term investor, like our clients here, we really keep in touch with the Fed for, longer thematic plays, not short-term, 1 or 2 day movements. But don't get me wrong, the market will move up or down based on what he says.
Well, and I've even heard tales, and I know y'all don't do this, but like day traders, folks like literally reading body language and these sorts of things. I'm like, I could just go home and play with the Ouija board. Like, I mean, at a certain point, it gets a little crazy. And so I love that y'all are always looking at the long-term strategy. You're almost anticipating what he's doing. You're not just reacting to what he's doing.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, I'm, I guess kind of young and modern like you, and I'm on Reddit and I follow Wall Street Bets, and I follow these types of accounts just to get an idea of what's going on those types of forums. And you've got people out there these days that'll trade 0 DTE options, and they'll trade them for a single day based on what they think Jerome Powell will say. And sometimes they make a bunch of money and sometimes they lose everything they've saved, and that type of risk is not for us. But yeah, there are certainly people out there that are hyper-focused on really short-term stuff, and it is fun to look at. But in a professional setting, when you're dealing with people's livelihood and money they've saved, we don't get into the granular of a single Fed announcement. We really look at the long-term trajectory of where we're going and try to position accordingly.
And folks, if you're looking for not only help with, say, on the investment side, but just across the board, holistic approach, multidisciplined team to your long-term financial future and want to plan that financial future, Invista Advisors, Austin and the team, well, they are who you need to go with. You've heard Brant McDonald for years, Austin Barenko also a great member there. And it all just starts with a conversation at 387-0094. That's 387-0094. And be sure to tell them, hey, I heard Austin on the radio with Joey there. I want to see what y'all can do for me.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, guys, and y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Austin. Again, that's Austin Branco with Invista Advisors.
The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions expressed in this material do not necessarily reflect the views of LPL Financial. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice is offered through Invista Advisors, registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
Coming up after the top of the hour break, it's our monthly visit with City Councilor Andrew Szymanski. Look forward to talking to him. Y'all stay tuned. And 2 o'clock, we'll get into all sorts of we can kick around some of the national stories. There's also a heinous story. It was a local news report. What was it? Indiana teacher accused of the R-wording her students, including an instance where she forced 3 underage boys to have sex with her while wearing Scream masks. You know the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. She blames her weight loss on this. So we'll get to that in the 2 o'clock hour if we're feeling a little spicy.
Can't wait.
Like, what in the world is that? And then, of course, Tim Walz is talking about his masculinity. Like, how are we going to get back the men? Or how can we get some of these men to go? Like, you remind people too much of Dom DeLuise at the end of Blazing Saddles, sir.
100%.
Throw out your hand, stick out your tush. We're doing the French mistake, all right? God. It takes a lot to make Gavin Newsom look good. And Gavin Newsom is a genius. I'm going to invite Tim Walz on my podcast. Newsom looked like a hero compared to that guy. Anyway. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. In the next hour, the Federal Reserve will conclude its open market committee meeting. Chairman Jerome Powell's remarks will follow as markets await a signal on its key interest rate. The parents of a U.S. college student who vanished almost 2 weeks ago in the resort town of Punta Cana have asked authorities to declare her legally dead. The parents say after an extensive search, local authorities believe Sudiksha Kananki, a 20-year-old student at the University of Pittsburgh, drowned. She disappeared before dawn March 6th. Traffic now flowing in and out of the Florida Keys. That's after a brush fire led officials to briefly close US 1. Snarling traffic for hours for those trying to enter or leave the island chain. The Dow is up 145 points. The NASDAQ Composite adding 125. This is SRN News.
Financing a home, especially in today's market, is one of the biggest decisions you'll make for your family. Work with a mortgage company that puts you first. I do. Work with a lender founded on biblical principles like do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. I do. It's Mike Gallagher for the only mortgage company I've used for almost a decade now when financing or refinancing Fellowship Home Loans. I'm friends with the owners, Mike and Brian. I even have them on my show occasionally. I know the care their team puts into every single customer. I can personally tell you that it's a smooth, stress-free process, and that's due to Fellowship's level of service and expertise that puts you in the right loan for your family and your goals. There's a reason Fellowship Home Loans is flooded with 5-star reviews. Whether purchasing a home or a cash-out refi to consolidate some higher interest debt, you can trust Fellowship Home Loans. Start the process. Make the call. 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
Rich Thomas Weather, brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Hiring experienced truck drivers right now. They offer Blue Cross Blue Shield, 401k, and per diem. They've been in business since 1959, and they're still growing strong. Call recruiting now at 855-777-9785. Wiley Sanders Truck Line.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. Our big warm-up continues for one more day today, but big changes are coming up. Today's high in the lower 80s with a sun and cloud mix. We're dry through the evening hours tonight, but showers and maybe a few thunderstorms by late tonight and through the overnight hours, becoming windy, low 49. Then tomorrow, a brisk day, much cooler. High temperature only in the upper 50s. Winds will make it seem colder. A cold Thursday night with a low in the mid-30s with areas of frost on Friday morning. Friday, sunshine, high 67, up to 74 Saturday, near 80 Sunday with more sun. The next chance of storms arriving by Sunday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More is your low price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Delray to Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. An Elmore County Sheriff's deputy and a woman were injured in a shootout Tuesday when police attempted to arrest 40-year-old Ebony Bracey for outstanding warrants. She shot one of the deputies in the forearm. Officers immediately returned fire, injuring Bracey. The incident happened on Dozier Road in the Redland community. Bracey is charged with attempted murder. Alabama lawmakers on Tuesday advanced a series of tax cuts, including a 1% reduction on the state sales tax on food. The proposed cut on the grocery tax would reduce the state sales tax on food from 3% to 2%. Alabama is just one of 9 states that place a sales tax on groceries. The bill now moves on to the Senate for approval. The Alabama State Hornets defeated St. Francis 70-68 on Tuesday night, giving the Hornets their first NCAA tournament win in school history. ASU trailed for much of the evening but fought back to take the lead with just 1 second remaining in the game. Alabama State now moves on to face the overall number 1 seed Auburn Tigers on Thursday. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Since 1966, Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches has been more than just a place to stay. It's been a place to belong. For children facing hardships through no fault of their own, our ranches provide more than shelter. We offer a warm home, a loving family, and a future filled with hope. With open arms, we welcome these young hearts, giving them the love, structure, and guidance they need to heal, grow, and thrive in a warm Christian environment. Together, we can give Alabama's children the chance they deserve, a chance to dream, to succeed, and to feel truly cherished. Every donation stays within Alabama, directly impacting the lives of the children who need it most. Join us in making a difference. Visit alabamasheriffsYouthRanches.org. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and download our app from your app store. We'd be honored to have you as a part of our mission to lift up Alabama's youth. And remember this, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdis. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Eddie Bader here in the studio, as is City Councilman Andrew Szymanski. How you doing today?
I am very good. Actually, new place in town that I went to lunch today. It's my second time there. Don't know if y'all have heard of Oliver's, but it's the new it's a family that's got it's a Chicago hot dog and Chicago like Italian style beef sandwiches. Oh yeah, you get that thing dipped and it is unreal. It's spicy.
I need to tell Greg Budell about that.
Yeah, where's
he's a Chicago boy.
It's in downtown. It's right by the fountain over where the old Cahaba House was.
Oh yeah,
and,
Oliver's.
I'm always a big proponent of us having new and unique things, but also like the lunch that you can go in and be in and out in under 30 minutes. Like, when you have to get back to work. Yeah. It's just at Scott Street not so long ago. It's another great location. But Oliver's, and then they're they're bouncing around because they have a hot dog cart, and so they come up to my place at Hilltop on Fridays. They go out to the gin on Thursdays. So, the Italian, my dad's grew up on the south side of Chicago, and so like when I go home and see my cousins and uncles, like Italian beef is happening sometime on that trip, and these guys make a darn good sandwich. So
man, I'm already hungry.
Yeah, that's where I was before this.
And we got a lot we can get to, but you got me thinking about, because I've been downtown for all sorts of reasons, going to the State House recently, go get a coffee at Prevail and whatnot, and being in that area. How are we doing in terms of like occupancy of small businesses? Because it would be ideal to be able to walk through downtown and there's storefront after storefront after storefront. It doesn't seem like we're quite there yet.
Yeah, no, we're not quite there, and we're getting there. And I think one of the things that you're seeing right now is some new spaces that are starting to get activated, and with the hotels that are coming. And some of those projects, we're seeing a lot of action. And so if you go over by where the EJI Museum is, there's a Little Donkey that's going to be opening up down there, and a Hero Donuts, which sounds like it's just a donut shop. It is not. It is a brilliant burger place. If you've ever been to the one in Birmingham. So you've got Donuts Burgers and then Little Donkey coming over there. I think Dexter is the real kind of untapped resource that we have. There's some development that still needs to happen in some of those buildings, and we're seeing some progress over there. But it is good to see that people are finding other pockets of the downtown profile, and continuing to put new businesses into there. So we have a density thing, and we've talked about this before, needing to increase downtown residential density, get more developers to come in and actually create more mixed use, multi-level commercial and residential spaces. I'm really excited. We have a new bank coming into downtown that's been in existence, but now is actually going to have a storefront. Smart Bank is going to be at the newly renovated Bell Building, which is exactly that, right? It's going to have a bank on the bottom, and it's got residential on top of it, right next to Troy University.
Space.
I think they're cutting their ribbon tomorrow. So, there are things down there. And seeing Oliver's go in is a great thing, and just trying to give people options, give tourists and travelers options, because the alley can only sustain so much activity. It can only fit so many people in there. And I'll tell you what, now that it's warming up, the buses and the bus traffic in downtown
coming to pour in again.
Oh yeah, when you've got old Alabama town, you got an active state legislature. I saw 200-300 people out on the state capitol lawn today, and then all the stuff that's going on with EJI and the other projects in downtown. Like there's a need for it. So
and I'm personally on the bubble, like, because this guy keeps wanting me to buy a place, and it's either I move out of Montgomery and move somewhere near the area, or I've always wanted to live downtown. You said friends that lived in those alley lofts, so I don't want to live there. No offense to the Kaiser folks. They're very nice, but it's too loud.
Yeah.
And there's not enough privacy. So if there are other, say, residential options downtown that aren't in the middle of all the action necessarily, but you're still adjacent, I would definitely personally.
The Bell Building is fabulous. Just the renovation and the transition that happened there. It's a stunning space, and it's right by that Troy side. And it's kind of like it's a block and a half off of the fountain. So it's right kind of in that general area, but it's not quite in that late night kind of 2 a.m. Which is great. And and a lot of credit to the city hired a community and Economic Development Director, Frank Robinson. He's probably been here about 8 or 9, 10 months now, maybe almost a year. Comes to us from Philadelphia, has seen kind of the growth of different areas of that city. And one thing that is new that we have downtown, it's called SBOSS, which is the Small Business One-Stop Shop. Mm-hmm. And they are now set up in the same building as Prevail in one of those office spaces in there. And that's what they're there for. They're there to help connect people that are interested in opening up small businesses with the resources, real estate, banking information, all that kind of stuff. They've got a team there. It was initially funded through some ARPA relief money, but now it's going to be a continuing entity, a joint kind of, and it's not like previously we'd had some initiatives that were like more just tech-based or more some of this. Yeah. This is for everything. It's literally a single location to help people launch their business here in Montgomery. And so Frank and his team have been working really hard on that. And I've been happy about the progress that they've been making there. And hopefully we see some more stuff coming.
Now, in other good news, it sounds like y'all have been able to stand up a program, and this is going to help with police, fire, and maybe other jobs, sort of recruiting, make it it makes the job even sweeter if we're trying to recruit people to do these jobs in Montgomery.
Yeah, well, and this is one of the great things about how consistently coming on here and being able to talk to you in the audience is that we've been talking about this really since I ran.
Mm-hmm.
I'd seen some programs like this in other places in the country and wanted to bring this here. So to explain to everybody what we have launched as of the last 2 weeks now, we have partnered up with Renaissance Bank, and they have launched a product that is the Community Home Buyer Loan Program. A loan program that provides 100% financing on homes, plus no mortgage insurance. So
no PMI,
no down payment, no
deal.
PMI. And we launched this program with a direct marketing effort to the Montgomery Police Department. Have been in talks with the command staff, Chief Gray Boys, over the past 6, 7, 8 months as we've been kind of working through this. And we had a nice press conference and let everybody know that this is available. Before launch, of course, we test cased it with 2 officers who've gone through the program already. And now starting to get out there and meet individuals. Richard Bradford and Brett Dickey at Renaissance Bank have been huge in getting this thing moving forward. And now we're telling everybody about it. And it really accomplishes 2 things. Number one, great recruitment tool, right? It allows us to be able to say, we've already done the 15% salary increase. We have the education incentives, but here's something that nowhere else in the state has. We have this great community home buyer program. So you come here, you give 30 years to the Montgomery Police Department while also living in our city. And then when you're done, you'll have your pension and you'll have full equity in a home here in the city of Montgomery, which is wonderful. Also a great tool for retention, right? Because it's not just for incoming. Any active duty officer has access to this program, which is wonderful.
As opposed to renting for 5, 10 years and then going to a different department.
It's also great because everybody, I don't care who you are, you want to see a policeman in your neighborhood. And he's not renting. He owns that house. So he has, roots in that community. Mm-hmm. That helps everybody. That absolutely helps everybody.
That's exactly the other point to be made, is that we're also bringing people, all of our officers that are wanting to do this program will be living here in our city. About 85% of the city qualifies for this program in terms of where the houses are located, and which is great news for all of us. And so we have that. And then we had so much success and so much excitement and hype that now we're going to bring this to other individuals. So I met with with Chief Jordan and the command staff at the Montgomery Fire Department last week. We're going to be offering this program to Montgomery Fire. Next week, we're going to be having a conversation with the Emergency Communications Center, and we're going to be talking about this as an incentive for 911 operators, other EMA. And assuming we have the capacity and Renaissance Bank has the capacity to do it, I would love to see us doing this or offering this program. We could go to teachers. We could go to nurses and the medical field. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the last things that you're going to hear how hyped I am about this is because people just assume Montgomery doesn't pioneer things like this. And here we are, as the only city in the state that's launched a program and partnership that looks like this to address. I mean, we know that Montgomery is not the only city that's having recruitment and retention issues when it comes to, public safety personnel. Here we are pioneering a program, launching it, getting it out there, and we've been getting calls. There was a police department in Maryland that wrote in an email that was like, heard about the program, would love to learn how you guys did this. We'd love to figure out if there's a way for us to do this in our own community. So there is kind of a bit of a pride factor in there's you can naysay a lot of different things, but to say, hey, we did something that was really, really great, first of its kind in the city of Montgomery, we don't get to say that every day.
No, I love hearing that. And I like that this maybe expands. And the idea of giving people true stake in the community beyond a job is, I think, ingenious.
Yeah.
And has this been implemented in other, say, states? Like, what is sort of the success rate? Like, what does success look like down the road?
Yeah, I mean, I think success looks like the number of people that, like, looking at the balance between how, like, right now, the 2 test cases we did were already active duty MPD officers. And then seeing how quickly, when we get new officers in, how many of them take advantage of the program. Looked at, initially was inspired by seeing this out in Los Angeles. They have a bank out there that does I think it's called like Home Loans for Heroes or something like that. And that's the kind of root of what got us on this. And it's not easy. I mean, you know this, to find the way to make this work where we could get the full financing and no PMI was
that's a big one.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So now you don't have to put any money down to get into the home, and your rent is, your mortgage is probably cheaper than most rents in the
certainly
city.
will be. And you get a mortgage deduction on your taxes.
So I think success looks like in 2 years where we're seeing, a number of people who have really in feedback have said, I've chosen, Montgomery because of this program. And we'll just start seeing more vehicles popping up. And we know that with the population loss that we had from 2010 to 2020, most of those people didn't go to faraway cities. They're in Elmore County, they're in Otago County, they're maybe in Lee County, that type of thing. Now they're going to be coming back here.
Well, I love hearing that.
Me too.
Just to throw a curveball, but on the cutting edge thing, I've talked about the state doing it. We're seeing it's already been put in place by the Trump administration at the national level. There's talk within the United States Senate, in particular, Cynthia Lummis. What I'm talking about is, say, a Bitcoin reserve.
Oh, okay.
And I think it would be a great way to have sort of a long-term nest egg that maybe isn't even a bunch of money up front, that does allow the city to have, say, a very valuable asset that it can then, do all sorts of financial stuff with down the road. Yeah,
and I know a couple of the people that are involved. Wade Preston, my predecessor Clay McInnes, have had some involvement with the, kind of the cryptocurrency alliance or something along those lines to bring that. And especially with all the data opportunities that we're about to have here, the fact that mining will be something that we can really expand and have more discussion on. Candidly, I'm not your go-to crypto guy, but I mean, anything that gives people the opportunity to get in, invest, there's an education side of that, of course, but I think, there's interest there for sure.
Yeah. I like, let's keep doing the cutting edge stuff.
Yeah.
And this does seem to be the latest. Now, I'm not by any means a financial expert. I thought of Clay in particular. Lean on Clay. If the city wants to do this. And but I'm very convinced of the underlying technology, I'll put it that way. And seeing already the feds move on this, seeing a lot of states already move on this, it would be cool to have, Montgomery be one of the early cities adopting this. And it would be to the benefit of our people.
Yeah. And I think, as long as people really understood, because, of course, anytime we have conversations about investments and financial systems and how that impact is, we talked about that with Jackson Hospital, like really what was the core issue that this council was debating. It wasn't about just saving jobs. It was about the financial impact that we could be liable for if this thing all went sour, and making sure people really understand what we're trying to bring to the table, I think could be really a good opportunity.
Yeah. And I brought that up with the mayor last week, and he said, we shouldn't be in the business of bailing out private companies. I wholeheartedly agree there. And it seems it's worked out. Since y'all's told them, no, thank you. We're not going to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, and it's not that we told them no. When I offered up the substitute in that council meeting, all I asked for was basically the same kind of documentation and guarantees that, you would give to a bank when you ask for a car loan. I mean, we were being asked to guarantee a $20.5 million bond. And you have to ask yourself, where was everybody else? 60% of the patients that go to Jackson Hospital come from the city of Montgomery. The other 40% come from Montgomery County, Otago, the cities of Prattville and Millbrook, and all of them said, we can't do this. We can't help with this guarantee. So you're asking Montgomery to shoulder this whole thing. And it was not, there was some things that were said in the meeting about Montgomery being in first position and blah, blah, blah. We asked for that in writing. That didn't go over very well with the bondholders, obviously. So, it was great to see that they had another option, and we kind of had a belief that option might be there before we went ahead and committed what would have been about a third of our reserves and paying off a bond issue like that.
Yeah, and I'm glad. I appreciate the city making the decision they made.
Yes.
On the gas tax, it's what 3 cent a gallon increase, and should bring in what annually 3 million, give or take. Why not go ahead and earmark it? Like, what are the advantages of the way y'all did this?
Well, there's a couple of things. One is when we talk about infrastructure, there was some talk about like, is this going to be just for paving? But we actually have we use gas tax money to pay for more than just paving. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have this right. We have about 39,000 streetlights in the city of Montgomery. The power bill for that gets paid out of our gas tax. So about a third of the gas tax goes to, and trust me, I get these calls all the time, and we are backed up and behind, and I'm trying to make sure we can get these in because I know there are people listening that have been calling me about dark areas, dark streaks, and we are trying to get this thing moved forward to get more streetlights out there. But to be able to pay for the expansion in the number of streetlights, to be able to pay the power bill for that. The other thing that we have too is not just paving, but you have curb, gutter, sidewalks, storm drains, the Montgomery Canal, that we have that, and as we see right now, Lower Wetumpka Road. No, Upper Wetumpka Road. What's the one closer to the police station? Whichever.
Lower Wetumpka.
Lower Wetumpka. The bridge.
I'm sorry, Upper Wetumpka. Upper Wetumpka.
Upper Wetumpka. Yeah. Okay, so the bridge going out towards the Coliseum is closed because it needs critical repair. I mean, they had to. They went down, did an inspection, and they said, "Oh, nope, shut it down right now." And so, having more money in the general, kind of infrastructure coffer allows us to address multiple different issues. Paving is a problem. There's no way around it. I've got neighborhoods that have been around for a long time, and I know that in administrations past and years past, one of the easy things to do was to just pave over what was there. So I have some streets that now are in grade with the sidewalks that are around them, and the cost of milling that down and properly repaving them is so cost prohibitive almost. And so, some of the gas tax, being able to go towards that as well is the need, because it's just gotten too expensive. I did a third of a mile on a small service street where I have a bunch of businesses. It was a really bad road to mill and repave. Just that third of a mile was almost $65,000.
And for folks who don't know,
$8 a mile, right?
Each council member gets allocated specifically for y'all's district money that you can use for things like that.
A very small amount. Yes. Yeah. We get a small allocation from that. The city also gets part of the Rebuild Alabama infrastructure money that comes, I believe, out of their state gas tax. In the way that trickles down, there's some projects that are getting done in each of our districts that happen every springtime. We get that announcement. The Public Works Director, Patrick Dunson, talked about it at a meeting probably back in February about which streets are getting done there out of that, but it's just not enough. I mean, my Fairview project that, is going to be great. It's taking a long time. I know people keep asking about it. It's because they're doing the storm water. They're upgrading from these tiny little storm drains to these big ones that a person can walk through. That's a 1.25 mile project, and that's almost $9.5 million to do all that work. So yeah, infrastructure is going to be the long-term discussion that we're really going to have to think about. And, we're trying to do our best to analyze and decide what needs to get done, but it's a lot.
272-9228 if you have a comment or question for Councilor Szymanski. Again, that's 334-272-9228. I need to hit a quick break here. First, this entire hour brought to you by, I think, our premier sponsor, and all our sponsors are amazing.
Yes.
But Alabama Home Mortgage has been with
some
us.
of my favorite people, though.
It's Alabama Home Mortgage and Cole Plumbing have been here since the beginning of us taking over the show. And Kim and Madeline, that's Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon, they're at Alabama Home Mortgage, are ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy a home. And it could be it's your first time. You really want trusted local folks that can walk you through the home buying process. Or maybe it's not your first time. You've done this many times before, but you want folks you can trust who are going to get you the best possible deal. Not going to be any shocks or surprises there on closing day. Alabama Home Mortgage are the folks to go with. And you could just get a pre-approval. Like if you want to start shopping, get out there, like at least get the pre-approval process started. And of course, they also do a refinance deals. Anybody can get a great refinance deal to get credit card debt off your back, restructure your finances, but especially veterans. If you're a veteran here in the area and you've not used your benefits that you earn through your service, through the VA home loan programs, you're leaving money on the table. And you might think, oh, I already used it or I don't qualify. No. If you served, call up Alabama Home Mortgage, see what they can do for you. We have a listener as a veteran, just went through the process, took about 2 weeks, you're saving $400 a month. And so say you're getting into retirement, like you want to reduce that overhead, you built up equity in your home, Alabama Home Mortgage can help you get on that sound financial footing. 567-4223 is the number you need to call to start the conversation. 567-4223, or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Welcome to Epicure and Jack's Tavern, where they cherish their seniors. Dive into their $9.99 senior-sized meat and 3 lunch specials, Tuesday through Saturday at 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Each meal comes with a refreshing drink and a roll. It's time to savor the flavors that feel like home. Epicure and Jack's Tavern, where tradition meets taste.
Brunch lovers, rejoice. Every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., Epicure and Jack's Tavern offers an exquisite brunch menu alongside their meat and 3 specials. Start your weekend right with the best local flavors. Remember, they're in the old Fantail building waiting to make your Saturday special.
Hey guys, this is Todd Clark with River Region Contracting, your premier roofing contractor in Central Alabama. So remember the name, River Region Contracting, for all your roofing needs. We're not affiliated with any other roofing company in the River Region. We've been in the roofing business since 2005. We don't have to buy our leads, and we don't have to knock on doors when the storms come around. We have thousands of satisfied customers throughout Central Alabama. So call us at 334-356-8635. That's 334-356-8635.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Alabama weather will never fail to surprise you. Our lawns hardly get a chance to have any downtime. And as usual, it's already time to start getting ready for spring. This year, save the hard work and aggravation and call Alabama Lawns, the River Region's leader in weed control and fertilization services. What makes Alabama Lawns the River Region's best? It's the people. They have the experience, education, and commitment to customer satisfaction. Ask your neighbors. Alabama Lawns has been the Montgomery Advertiser's Reader's Choice Award winner 13 years in a row. The Alabama Lawn staff is made up of long-term employees and agronomy graduates, and the staff at Alabama Lawns attend annual continuing education classes. It pays to have someone that knows southern grass types and how to keep them green and flourishing. Call Alabama Lawns today at 272-7171 and let them show you real value in a lawn maintenance service. Alabama Lawns, the company with black trucks and green lawns. 272-7171.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by MPM Feed and Seed. It's time to get those gardens ready. From seeds to plants to fertilizer, MPM has what you need. Shop MPM Feed and Seed in Prattville, 1313 Highway 31 North. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturdays, 8 to 1.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Our big warm-up continues for one more day today, but big changes are coming up. Today's high in the lower 80s with a sun and cloud mix. We're dry through the evening hours tonight, but showers and maybe a few thunderstorms by late tonight and through the overnight hours, becoming windy, low 49. Then tomorrow, a brisk day, much cooler. High temperature only in the upper 50s. Winds will make it seem colder. A cold Thursday night with a low in the mid-30s with areas of frost on Friday morning. Friday, sunshine, high 67, up to 74 Saturday, near 80 Sunday with more sun. The next chance of storms arriving by Sunday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
The Tierce family has been your local Roto-Rooter service since 1964. Drain cleaning, plumbing repair, and those troublesome septic tanks, no problem. Technology has changed a bit in the last 54 years. Video inspections of lines to locate problems is available, as well as scheduling your appointment online. River Region residents have trusted Roto-Rooter for over half a century. You can too. Call today at 272-7130 or visit online at rotorooteralabama.com.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1. WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back, folks. Sorry we got talking off air and sorry for that.
Big
hard,
surprise.
Hey, I'm playing the Celine Dion that Eddie. I made it. It's not Celine Dion, and it doesn't even sound like
that
Celine
would be
Dion.
like your walk-in music if you were a wrestler.
No,
Yeah.
no, that particular one would not be. No, come in with like a top knot ponytail, get that cheap heat.
I'm telling you,
yeah, blow kisses
whoever
to
you
the
was
crowd.
wrestling would be like, I don't know.
You'll find the biggest Bubba at the front row.
Right.
Like, yeah. Just, I'm
It'd be
sure
very intimidating.
They would love all that stuff. Wow, we got a lot of calls here.
Yeah, we
We're
do.
Talking to Counselor Andrew Szymanski, and well, always true when we have a city official. Simpler Days on the phone. Hey, Simpler Days.
How's it going?
Good afternoon. It's a wonderful day.
Yes, it is.
In the city of Montgomery. The state is giving us a tax break, but now before we can even get to the grocery store, the city is putting a tax on gas. What I would like to see with some of that gas money is for them to create a office of efficiency, a Doge maybe, so we could see where maybe the mayor's travel budget goes. He won't release to, certain news outlets. But my other question is, I think this is, and I think we should, and maybe it's a statement, not a question, but I think it's a great program for the officers to be able to get affordable housing. Do you know, and this is the question, do you know what, you said 80%, do you know what percentage of the city is Section 8 housing?
Is Section 8? I don't know what percentage of the city is Section 8.
I would be willing to bet you, and Eddie might know more, that 70 to 80% of the city of Montgomery is Section 8 housing eligible.
I don't know if it's that high, but it's pretty high. I don't know if it's quite that high.
Well, I've heard it from another realtor, Eddie, that it was pretty close to those numbers, between 70 and 80%.
Well, when you say eligible, yeah, but a lot of people I know in the property management field don't deal with Section 8 for a specific reason.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
The thing that's going to get officers to Montgomery, and if you check, and some officers are scared to talk to council members because they've been told not to, and they've been told you will get in trouble if you do. But if you get one to talk to you, they'll tell you, and I talk to officers all over the state, and what's going to get them back to Montgomery is simply the mayor coming out in a very forceful voice and say, we want you here. We want you to work in Montgomery. We want you to do your job, and we will support you in doing your job. And if you make an honest mistake and you tell the truth about it, we're going to support you also. That's what's going to get officers back to Montgomery. And if you talk to one of the officers, they'll tell you the ration strength with the Montgomery Police Department is about 200 officers right now. It is critical. And they've only got a couple of detectives working cases, working serious felony cases. And somebody's going to have to talk to the mayor. Somebody's going to have to sit down with him and say, look, all these programs are great, but what you need to do with your pulpit is stand out and tell officers all over this state, because you travel over the state, you travel all over the United States, you travel overseas, you need to send the message loud and clear. We want you to come to Montgomery. We want you to work. We want you to enforce the laws, the codes, the city of Montgomery, and we will support you when you do that. That's what he needs to do, but he's not going to do it because he wants less police, and that's why we're in the shape we're in. Thank you.
Appreciate the comment.
And I just wanted to clarify, because I didn't know if Simpler Days was insinuating this or not, but I just wanted to make sure. The home loan program is not just, it wasn't a low income or a Section 8 housing program. Affordable is oftentimes confused. It is really for any home that, as I said, about 80% of the city qualifies. So we can use the home buyer as a true incentive. I'll also say this, like I do think that I've been hearing great things about the leadership that Chief Grayboys has. When we had the press conference announcing the home buyer program, all three of us, myself, the chief, the mayor, we're talking about trying to continue to find ways to show our commitment to the people in uniform here in this city. And was very excited because we had 8 graduates of the academy very recently. All 8 of them chose to stay in the city of Montgomery. I was told that was more than maybe the last year's worth of academies combined. So there are some positive things here. And it's not, look, we have to be competitive, and this program is a way for us to be competitive with other municipalities that are trying to recruit and attract officers in a shrinking pool, not just here, but in the many cities across the state of Alabama.
Well, and I grokked the whole Section 8 thing. It took a second, 138 seconds on deep search. Households, about 37% of households in Montgomery may be eligible for Section 8.
37.
Households or houses. If he's talking about houses, it's a different. Now, households, that's based on strictly income. But
Right. And about 37% is right under that number. What is it saying? About 40,000, a little bit below. So well, that makes sense. But thank you for making that clear. That this program about recruiting officers, I think retaining officers,
I think it's a great program.
And I love the idea of expanding to the fire department, to emergency services. This is it's not just, you're paying people to do a job. You're treating them as a valuable asset that is growing the city in general to make a home. It's not even a financial thing at a certain point.
Yeah, no, exactly. And one of the things that that Chief Jordan at the fire department says that he's like, we want to use this as a way, because one thing that they do is they try and look for lateral transfers from other departments, either in other municipalities or other states. He goes, this is one of those things, because everyone is, you keep seeing every time Montgomery raises the salary for any of our public safety people, Birmingham, Huntsville, everybody else does. They do the education thing. That's why, at least in this moment, till other municipalities figure out how to do what we've done here, we get to say we have another thing that may make you choose Montgomery over another location.
Let's go to Lee. Hey, Lee.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, Lee?
Hello.
Listen, y'all hear about the 3 stores Dollar General's closing in Montgomery?
The $3 Generals are closing in Montgomery?
Yes, sir. And this is where they're at. The Chisholm, brand new Chisholm store, closing. The one down there at Lower Road and the Toll Road, it's closing. It's a new store. And the one over there, around where you live, on Berry Hill Road, it's closed. And my granddaughter works for one on Lower Road. They didn't even know nothing about it till 7:30 last Saturday morning. And the reason they're closing, stealing.
Well,
that's the reason.
Well, and I'm seeing the news stories. It's going to be over 100 stores, nearly 100 stores across the nation.
Wow.
Montgomery going to get hit worse. This stealing is getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. And ain't nobody can catch them. I mean, one, I went in there one day to go get me something, and one run out and knocked the little girl down. Running out there stealing stuff. It's plumb ridiculous. And you know what I laugh about it, though, Joey? Is all you fools that were stealing in that store, you won't steal from there no more. You won't steal from there no more. And Chisholm's already going down. It's got nothing there. And now Boylston ain't going to have nothing. And the people at that store, when they found out about it, what am I going to do? I said, I don't know what you're going to do. Well, I walked to the store. I said, you have to have somebody take you now. But I just wanted to let y'all know. I didn't know if y'all knew about it. But yeah, they closed them too. Plus the Perry Hill Road is going to be closed.
Well, I appreciate you letting us know, Lee.
Okay, buddy. Take care.
Thank you, Lee.
Yeah, no, and you got to take the good, which I think there is improvement. These programs we were talking about are good. It shows us policy-wise pointing in a very good direction. But you got to take the bad with it. And the mayor said last week, property crimes are up.
Yeah.
And then you look, of course, the awful story with Jim Massey.
Yeah.
And it's that sort of it. We can think about this in this analytical, abstract way. We need force levels higher. We need all these things, but when we don't have the force levels, and you start seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I think even if you do have force levels, I mean, I think one of the challenges, as always, is trying to make sure your resources are deployed in ways, and we can't just blanket the city. Yes, of course, I'm not even for a minute suggesting that we could do it without the proper numbers, and we are way below where we need to be. And it's unfortunate because, we have local businesses, national chains, all sorts of commercial sectors that are being hit by this, and there's a root cause for some of this as well. And there's, it goes deeper than just the crime itself, and that's a tough conversation, and it's one that is takes time and real focus and attention on. But it's also not hard for us to say it's 100% unacceptable, right?
Well, are we trending in the right direction as far as attracting officers? I mean, you said 8 while ago, which I would love to say that's awesome, but it also at the same time, it just seems like that's not enough. I would think that we would be, and no fault of your own, but we would be bringing in more. And is it just the recruiting? Is our issues there? Or?
I mean, I think it's not just the recruiting. It's this kind of goes to more of a national thing. I'm sure you've had conversations like this with our congresspeople and senators. Is that we're just not getting people going into law enforcement like they were 30 and 40 years ago.
Agreed.
And
but I guess what we compare it to, and I hear this all the time because I am here, Sheriff's Department and the MPD. The Sheriff's Department doesn't seem to have near the same issues as MPD does. And I can't quite understand why that is.
Well, there's the one way that it's been explained to me by somebody that I know that left Montgomery, an officer contact of mine that went to the Sheriff's Department, and not in Montgomery, but in a different municipality. And also knowing some people that are sheriff's deputies up in Shelby County, it's a different beat. It's a different job. It is patrolling, and being an urban police force is a different job than it is to be in some of our more rural areas. And also, it's not that it's any harder necessarily, that the demand is not any less, because it's not about a comparison necessarily, but it is a different type of job.
But you don't think it's a lifestyle or pay or demands that maybe one organization demands on the other?
I don't think we can pay people enough to do that kind of job. I don't think we could pay teachers enough to be in certain jobs. And yet, what we see is that it is a tougher job oftentimes for teachers to be teaching in urban centers.
I was one of those kids. I know why they teach. Yeah.
But truly, I mean, I think that's why I say is like, I don't think it's as easy as to say, like, is it trending in the right direction? I think we've got really strong leadership. And I think the choice to have Chief Grayboys come in is already yielding a lot of benefits. I see the positive kind of outlook that we have with the MAX, the Montgomery Area Crime Suppression Unit, and the involvement of the Sheriff's Department, who are critical in making that work, and of Aaliyah and the state police, critical. I mean, I was driving up along 85 on the service road, and I saw next to each other a sheriff's SUV and a sheriff motorcycle. And that's awesome, right in the downtown area. So, we are figuring out a way to use the resources we have to try and do the job of suppressing the amount of crime that we're having, and it's having positive effects on violent crime. And I'm glad that we're being honest and saying we are still having issues of
I'm glad so
home
too,
crime and petty crime, and obviously with with burglaries and stuff like that, because then we can start deploying resources to try and address some of that. Every time I go into my HOA meetings, we are talking about leaving your lights on in your backyard, like making sure if you have the ability
Security.
to have, basic, camera opportunities to be tied into Star Watch, because like this is the environment we're living in, and we need to be proactive as best we can. As I said, we're going to try and continue to add streetlights in neighborhoods that need them. We're looking at ways to do what we call road diets, or make it less easy for people to speed in and through our neighborhoods. People deserve to live and feel like they're living in somewhere that is safe. And
yes, I agree 100%.
Just like we talk about the small business thing, they deserve to live in places that are vibrant as well. And we are seeing positive trends based on what I'm hearing about the leadership that we have right now. Chief Grayboys was selected back in June, July time period. So he hasn't even been here in a year, and we've seen recruitment numbers go up. We've seen all the positivity from Max, and that's a good thing. It's at least in that way I could say yes, it's trending in the right direction.
Good.
Well, and not trying to pat myself on the back, but no, what did I accomplish? The reason I touched, say, a sacred spot last week and argued about the whole BLM thing is I think that's why, in part, not explaining the 100%, in part, you're having the trouble now.
Oh, 100%. And there's no doubt about
and
that.
maybe it was the sort of overcorrection that you need. I can hear the arguments over every which way,
when
but
that started going down, though, police took it on the chin, and people, I say across the country, a lot of people went anti-police until they needed them.
So, I mean, we'll see. And it is a long run thing that isn't going to be fixed overnight. And we'll see in the coming months. We were talking state politics a little earlier. It looks like the Republicans are going to try to push, like, full on remove the 1 cent off the grocery tax instead of having it indexed to the ETF. And part of that will also allow municipalities to lower their share of a grocery tax. I know there's a lot of details to that. It's unique. But would you be open to at least looking into that? And it's something that seems fairly bipartisan, that don't tax people as much on groceries.
Yeah, I mean, in case anybody wasn't aware, I grew up in Massachusetts, went there until I graduated high school, went to the University of Georgia afterwards. In Massachusetts, we don't tax groceries, and we don't tax clothing. I'm pretty sure we don't tax all clothing. Yeah, or it may just be like school prep. I can't remember, but I do know there is no grocery tax. And one of the challenges that we have is that grocery taxes target, it is in a time when groceries now are getting more and more and more expensive, with no relief in that really kind of in sight, then it becomes a big challenge. One of the problems that we're going to have to figure out is where that loss of revenue is going to come from. And that's one of the things I think is really hard. And I've found very challenging about this role is, someone was talking about the gas tax, and people, trust me, I've gotten plenty of calls about people's strong opinions about the gas tax. I understand that, but I also, we do have to pave roads. We do have to have, we have employees, we have grass to cut, we have buildings to maintain, we have all sorts of stuff. Government is a business, right? And it's in the business, its revenue stream is not a product like a car or a carton of milk. It's the product is what's generating tax dollars. That's gas tax by people driving into the city, property taxes, people living here, sales taxes, the alcoholic beverage tax, So, I mean, I grew up in a place that was no grocery tax. I think that helps people who do struggle paycheck to paycheck.
Oh, yes, it does.
For sure. I have a lot of homeowners in my district, and right now we enjoy across, generally we talk about this as a positive, that we have lower property taxes than a lot of other places do. One of the big differences in Massachusetts is we have much higher property taxes. So you can have something like a grocery tax. So I've not seen a proposal for how it could work. And I think it is going to be a complex thing for us to have to figure out, because there is a lot of revenue that is generated by grocery taxes.
Let's go to Jay Tom. Hey, how you doing today?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
Hey, I'm old and I've been around since 1948, but I have seen the good and the bad and all that. But I think they're on the right track except for these extra taxes. Taxes come down and then they raise the gas tax 3%. I don't agree with that. And another thing, I live off Atlanta Highway, and Atlanta Highway from Perry Hill Road to Eastdale Shopping Center needs to be paved.
Oh yeah, it does.
And the part from Perry Hill Road coming in is dangerous.
Yeah. Well, I think
and I agree with everything else I said.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, Atlanta Highway. We get a lot of calls about Atlanta Highway needing to be paved. Please call your state representatives on that. I'm pretty sure.
Is that right?
Okay. I'm pretty sure that would be in that purview. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure. But also, call your representatives on a lot of things. You know, it is just like we talked about with Max. Like as elected officials, we as counselors are probably the most accessible because we come from the districts that we live in, and we're in City Hall, we're in downtown, we're kind of on local media and stuff like that. We have some wonderful representatives in the State House as well, and they're making other big decisions. And sometimes, you know, something like a municipality being able to lower its grocery tax first has to pass through a state legislature. Right. And you know, that's just one of those things where, you know, we all have to be partners in this. Montgomery is a capital city. Montgomery has 62,000 people roughly that come to work here every day that don't live here. Now, I'm not advocating for anything out of that, but I would say that, like, you know, it does mean that we have a lot of people that use our infrastructure, that are that, you know, our police don't ask where you're from when you have a 911 call on the side of the highway, or the fire department, you know, if you have a medical emergency, don't ask what municipality from. We have great people that serve the city. And so Montgomery may be a city of 200,000, but for about 9 hours Monday through Friday, we're actually a city of about 260,000. So you know, there's a lot for us to consider as part of that, and that's one of the reasons why Atlanta Highway gets so much usage. So
well, all
right, good talking to you.
Thank you, Jay.
Thanks, Jay Tom. And let's go to, I guess, Urbanite.
Yeah, Urbanite. Hey, Urbanite. He was there.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
He's
there he is.
So you and Simpler Days are on every time I'm on the air.
On the new Civic Center, do you have a location yet?
I do not. No. I have seen a rendering of what could be a new convention center.
You have a proposal for?
Do I have a what?
Urbanite? I think we lost him.
Yeah, I think we've got a terrible delay.
Yeah.
Try back, but not like the big new convention center. It's still very early planning stage.
Yeah. I mean, it got announced at State of the City, and that is the extent of my knowledge on that. But you know, it is something where we are seeing, is, you know, despite what people said 5 years ago, like the tourism impact here is real. It is just something that is being felt, and one thing that comes with that is making sure that we have the spaces so that whether they be you know, conventions or expos or other things like that. And the idea of this new center is to really capitalize on that. We see Mobile, Mayor Sandy Simpson's just announced a big convention center project there, and this kind of new model of having this arena, like this capacity for it to be multiple things, really could be beneficial. Of course, you know, right now it is just an idea and a concept, and I look forward to seeing what this could potentially look like and what the impact could be.
I do think we got Urbanite back.
Yeah, you know, thank you for answering that. And the other question was, what are we going to do from a cultural shift standpoint? Because I think the whole thing is, I don't know if Montgomery's a nightlife place anymore.
Well, that's
the crime had gotten so bad, or they perceive the crime as bad, that it's going to affect us in the long run when it comes to tourism. We're going to be a very boring place to visit if we don't watch it or start taking care of it.
Well, you know what? I think there's here's what I would say. If you look at a city like Chattanooga, they made the same argument. Macon, Georgia, same way. That 20 years ago, that was the case. It took people, it's a chicken or the egg thing. And trust me, as somebody who owns a small business that is open at nighttime, like, it's amazing how many people tell me what a bad idea it is for that. It's never going to work, that, we're not going to have vibrant nightlife or opportunities.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But some people are just stubborn like I am. And I think that seeing the number of people, like, just look at the tourism numbers that are coming. The chamber at their annual meeting this year was throwing out some numbers that make Montgomery in line with Huntsville and Birmingham and Mobile and Beach area, Fairhope. So those are real numbers, right? They're not manufacturing those numbers. And so whether it's Montgomeryans or people coming to Montgomery, people are going to capitalize on the number of bodies that are downtown. And that's why I keep telling people residential density is super important in the downtown area. We have to create more residential density. It'll motivate more people and developers to want to put more businesses into that area. And we started that urban core, the kind of heartbeat of the city, that part that really kind of sets the tone for the rest of Montgomery. And as generations and generations come, people will continue to invest in that as they see it become a better and better buy. I am trying my best to tell people that we have great things in the downtown area, and we can be a great all entertainment city. I'm sure Eddie remembers back when the biscuits came, how many people said that it was never going to work. This is a terrible idea.
It's the only way I can eat draft beer in the city, so I did it.
Yeah. and now the biscuits is one of our best assets, right? And so, I can't convince everybody, but I think Montgomery is open for business and going in the right way.
Well, I appreciate the call, Urbanite, and appreciate your time. We're
of course
out of time. But I do like the idea. Let's just tax those transients. Like, just, people coming in, coming out.
All right, Joey, I'll see you next time. Bye.
Yeah.
Why not? Like, come visit
you're talking to me.
Montgomery.
You're talking to me over here. That's why.
I'm not talking about you. You're not going to the EJI Center.
But really quick, we did. One of the things that we did is we passed the Tourism Improvement District, which adds a little number, like you see in Savannah, the beaches, anywhere. Montgomery now has a Tourism Improvement District that is going to help.
And more hotels means
more hotels,
more competitive on that business. And so we are doing some of those things. So.
And the Airbnb booking rates are super high, especially anything around downtown.
I knew that. It's just fun to say tax those transients. And look at this man. Anyway, I appreciate it, Andrew.
Thank you, guys.
Final hour coming up.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The Federal Reserve kept its benchmark interest rate unchanged and signaled that it still expects to cut rates twice this year. The Fed also now expects the economy to grow more slowly this year and next than it did 3 months ago. And it also expects the unemployment rate to tick a bit higher to 4.4%. An Arizona man who kidnapped and murdered his girlfriend's ex-husband has been executed. Aaron Brian Gunches was lethally injected with pentobarbital. Gunches is the second of 4 death row prisoners in the United States to be executed this week. Louisiana executed a man on Tuesday, and 2 more executions scheduled in Florida and Oklahoma. That comes on Thursday. The Dow is up 214 points, the NASDAQ adding 190. This is SRN News.
Financing a home, especially in today's market, is one of the biggest decisions you'll make for your family. Work with a mortgage company that puts you first. I do. Work with a lender founded on biblical principles like do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. I do. It's Mike Gallagher for the only mortgage company I've used for almost a decade now when financing or refinancing Fellowship Home Loans. I'm friends with the owners, Mike and Brian. I even have them on my show occasionally. I know the care their team puts into every single customer. I can personally tell you that it's a smooth, stress-free process, and that's due to Fellowship's level of service and expertise that puts you in the right loan for your family and your goals. There's a reason Fellowship Home Loans is flooded with 5-star reviews. Whether purchasing a home or a cash-out refi to consolidate some higher interest debt, you can trust Fellowship Home Loans. Start the process. Make the call. 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6445. 888-848-5853. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by The Book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. Our big warm-up continues for one more day today, but big changes are coming up. Today's high in the lower 80s with a sun and cloud mix. We're dry through the evening hours tonight, but showers and maybe a few thunderstorms by late tonight and through the overnight hours, becoming windy, low 49. Then tomorrow, a brisk day, much cooler. High temperature only in the upper 50s. Winds will make it seem colder. A cold Thursday night with a low in the mid-30s with areas of frost on Friday morning. Friday, sunshine, high 67, up to 74 Saturday, near 80 Sunday with more sun. The next chance of storms arriving by Sunday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
You can make your ASC loan payments from your phone anytime, anywhere. It's quick and easy. www.yourasccu.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
ASC Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASC.
Oh, welcome back, folks. Always great seeing Andrews this man.
Yeah, yes, man.
And let's go right to the phones and talk to Michael Cohen with Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Pretty good. We're good. We're good. What's hot there today at Cohen's? What are the products people are like? I'm looking for this, Michael.
Well, I tell you, I've seen a lot of people come in looking for dryers.
Oh.
A couple people came in looking for televisions, but I think dryers was probably the thing that more people wanted today, which was, you got to come in, depending on whatever your needs are.
Yeah.
So anyway, we sold a few dryers, sold a couple of televisions. We've got some that are going to get installed later this week, so that's all good. I got back from the primetime show and got some good deals on some lift chairs, so I'm going to have a different lift chair company that I think we're going to probably have some maybe starting in the $750, $799 price range and going up. Yeah, so that's kind of new and exciting. Also saw some other chairs that were great deals that I think I'm going to have a glider, recliner, swivel that's probably going to be less than $1,000.
Oh, nice.
In a leather. And then there's a company called Transformative Table. They make a round table that you can pull it out. So it seats 4 as a round table.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh,
you
cool.
can pull it out. It almost can look like a big conference table or a huge dining room table, and it can seat up to 12. It comes with leaves. You just add them in.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And yeah, that's way cool.
Yeah.
So I know we're not in the table business, but it was cool, and we're going to be in that table business.
Well, and I've been telling you, I've been looking for a new chair, and I got a feeling though, if I buy that new one, Eddie, people are going to ask Eddie, like, you're out on a weekend, like, where's Joey? Oh, he's at home.
He's in the chair.
He's gliding and swiveling at home, like he just
He's playing
enjoys
in the
it
chair.
way too much.
Well, that's the way all captains should be.
That's right. What you doing today? Gliding and swiveling?
Gliding and swiveling.
Folks, you got to get by Cohen's. Go see all this stuff in person. Of course, you can always look online at thinkcohens.com, but go see this great product and these great folks in person there on the Boulevard, 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And be sure to find Michael and say, hey, I heard you on that radio show with Joey and Eddie. And he wouldn't shut up about gliding and swiveling.
Thank you. Y'all come see us. Let us help you make the right choice for whatever your needs are.
Hey, thank
Appreciate
you,
it,
Michael.
Michael.
Have a good day.
You too, buddy.
We'll be right back after some 1819 news.
1819 news.
A conservative freelance writer living in Alabama was one of the targets for swatting among other conservatives across the nation. Larry Alex Taunton says a false call brought Talladega County authorities to his home on Lay Lake in the middle of the night. Chief Deputy Josh Tubbs was falsely told that a woman and child had been shot at Taunton's home and that Taunton was barricaded in his bathroom, so the authorities arrived in blackout mode. no lights or sirens. This led to Taunton arming himself when he saw someone on his deck with a light shining into the windows of his house. Only when he turned on an exterior light did the police identify themselves. Taunton says everyone was so amped up at that point that things could have gone sideways very, very easily. Taunton says he's thankful that the officers were reasonable and did not react to the fact that he was armed with an AR-15 in order to defend his home. Taunton says the key lesson here is trigger discipline. The Talladega Sheriff's Office is now investigating who made that phone call. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Shaper with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
And President Trump has appointed U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville to serve on the Board of Visitors for the U.S. Air Force Academy located in Colorado Springs. The board is comprised of 15 members that are appointed by the President, the U.S. House, and U.S. Senate. The board's duties are to provide oversight of morale, discipline, social climate, and curriculum at that academy. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
You want your floors to scream new, fresh, and stylish. But if yours are groaning, tired, old, and outdated, you're in luck. Because the Prattville Spring Sale is your opportunity to revitalize your floors while you save on the best brands available, including Mohawk, with perfect and professional installation and Prattville's unbeatable lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement. Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Start shopping now at PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Adams Drugs has been committed to the healthcare of the people of the River Region for over 62 years. We value the trust each customer has in our pharmacists, techs, and entire staff. If you have not experienced the difference of Adams Drugs and are not satisfied with the customer service that you get in the big box stores, we invite you to visit any of our locations and see how committed we are to your satisfaction. Adams Drugs offers a variety of services that you will not find in all pharmacies in the River Region. Personalized compounding, area-wide delivery, wellness screenings, immunizations, medication consultations, and specialized packaging, just to name a few. Visit us at our website, adamsdrugs.net, and find the location nearest you. Adams Drugs has 12 convenient locations to serve you. Your satisfaction is our number one goal. Adams Drugs is your local Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy?
You are a rude, terrible person.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Always good talking, seeing Andrew Szymanski.
We need to go hang out at his place one day. Not tell him we're coming. Just show up one morning for coffee.
Sure.
He'd be blown
Or
away.
go get some beers.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
You like beer?
A little bit.
I mean,
like
I
the way it
still like
tastes.
beer. This week, I've had to buckle down a little bit.
Oh?
Because over the weekend, I was like, I feel fat. Like, I put down a pint of ice cream within like 5 minutes, and I'm like,
pint.
Just a pint.
Just a pint.
Yeah, just a pint. You know, all 1,500 calories of just
All right.
that. I got chocolate peanut butter, like Bluebell something. Oh my God.
Let me tell you something there, Junior.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you how a real fat boy does it. This weekend, I opened a can of condensed milk and ate the whole thing.
Really?
The entire can. I think Susanna had one bite because she, wanted to make sure I wasn't
Did you
going to
just
kill myself.
drink it?
No, I just had crackers, animal crackers I put in there. I had different stuff, some fruit, but mainly, just guzzled it. If I'd have known this tastes this good, I would have eaten
Condensed
this
milk.
It was so good. It's probably a gazillion calories. And honestly, about 2:30 in the morning, he had a stomach ache. So I probably shouldn't eat that.
Oh no, I've been having that with the chili crisp or chili crunch.
Yeah.
Like Fresh Market's now got it. I shouldn't say that because they'll go and like everybody will buy it up. But it's selling like crazy because it's always
So
limited
good.
on the shelf over there. It's the Momofuku. That's what's renowned restaurant, other parts of the nation.
I think
and so it's like chili oil with red chili flake, but then there's a bunch of like black truffle and mushrooms and peanuts.
Now, what are you putting that on?
I'll get some pasta, like some angel hair
Yeah.
pasta with like a cream sauce, maybe some shrimp in there, and
Joey.
or some chipotle. Throw it on chipotle
Really?
bowl, yeah. Or sometimes I've learned I'm eating grilled chicken because I don't want to eat a lot of calories. I want high protein. Just throw some of that on top of the grilled chicken, makes it better. It really
Can't
but
make it worse.
Problem is it's spicy, and going in ain't bad. But you can finish the sentence.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that feeling.
It's like my tummy hurts. What I did it to myself.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I did it to myself.
And you'll do it again.
Put it on pizza?
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway. Anything happened in the news while we weren't?
I don't know.
While we're talking city
let's
stuff?
see, JFK file.
Oh, have you gotten to the bottom of that?
I have not. I did go down a couple of little tiki-talk rabbit holes, but from
My
understanding-
favorite is people found this
Nothing.
one page. It doesn't really prove anything, but it's kind of like, that's nuts. Guy named Mr. Underhill.
That's the one.
Yeah, Mr. Underhill. First off, who's writing this? Like, how's this documented? It reads like a Twilight Zone
Yes,
opening.
it does.
Mr. Underhill went home. Like, am I reading Kafka here? And he was very upset that a small clique within the CIA killed Kennedy. He was in fear for his life, saying, I need to leave the country. 6 months later, Mr. Underhill was found shot in his apartment.
Yep.
Damn. Yeah, and
all
no,
they
and
did
there's-
was give me one little more nugget of.
And there's some gnarly stuff in there about like a whole program to poison crops and water and stuff to overthrow governments and
nothing new there.
Yeah, nothing new, but it's like it's fascinating to see these hard, fast documents. Pretty straight up. But everybody's got their hot take on it. Like,
Yeah.
I've read all 60,000 pages. No, you haven't.
Okay, with the Grok, can I hook a scanner up to the Grok, pump those 60,000 pages through there, and then wait like 10 minutes to get an answer? Is that possible?
Actually, you could.
Okay.
Probably be pretty effective.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do.
No, in 2 minutes, Grok had I think it was thinking household, not homes, but had
Oh,
the
yeah.
answer on the whole Section 8 thing. No, I've been using that mainly. It's Grok, Grok. I think it's a reference to Robert Heinlein novel, The Moon is Our Mistress. Talk about we're going to Grok that, which like figure that thing out.
Figure it out. Okay.
And I use now Grok's deep search instead of a Google search. It's awesome. It's not perfect, but it gives you sources though. Like,
It
and
does.
it'll where you Google something, you got to click on the link, read
Yep,
that
to
one
go there,
website.
to go- yeah.
This deep search will find 90 different websites, read them, double check, cross check it, and present you the information in bullet points, then present it in a little more explanation, and then present it at like graduate level. Here's the full breakdown.
Kind of like that. They Fisher price it down for me.
No, the other day I went to the state's website, put in all state expenditures and all receipts, and just took screenshots, plugged that into it, and said, give me what's been the average surplus over the last 5 years for the state budget. And they're like, well, there's a lot of federal spending. Remove federal spending.
Okay.
So you do have to direct it. You got to know what to ask.
Right.
But it is more about asking the correct questions.
Well, it's a tool, and you got to know how to use that tool.
Well, for instance, I was trying to understand the space industry here in Alabama as I was writing up about SpaceX and how did SpaceX and Elon Musk get tied up with Richard Shelby and this whole thing during the Obama years.
Okay.
And I was trying to understand the industry a little bit. I said, hey, Grok, why don't you put a list together as though I'm watching a play or a movie or a story. Give me a list of the characters and sort of what are their attributes, like the old grizzled veteran or the up and newcomer. What are their different approaches?
Okay.
Present it to me like they're characters in a play. And then how might the play unfold, say, for things like the Artemis 3 mission? What would each, say, industry company in Alabama in the space industry, what role do they play? And it was great. It like very quickly presented, here's what Marshall Flight Center does. Here's what ULA does. Here's what Dynetics does.
Any kind of predicting? Grok, can it do any kind of predicting?
It'll do it, but I mean, it's like anything else.
Curious.
But it is very good for asking and presenting, say, complicated details, and maybe something that would take you hours, it can reduce into minutes.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
something that take you days, it can
my
reduce
world.
in just a few hours, a few good questions.
Mm-hmm.
And on things that you don't, it's a lot faster than reading Wikipedia or reading Google.
Well, the accuracy of it, like we say Wikipedia, we've all kind of seen how that can go sometimes. But you feel very comfortable with the accuracy of Grok.
Yeah, because I often double check it.
Okay. I had no issues thus far?
Not on these new functions. And I'm just scratching the surface of what I do. I'm just doing basic research on news articles and sometimes scholarly stuff. It's more, I think, useful for people like code who are doing mathematical like projects, engineering. I think it's very, very good at that sort of thing.
What if I'm a younger guy trying to improve my game with women? Can it help me with that?
It could probably help you with that. Now, and then it has all the different voice assistants. Like it has the sexy 18 plus.
Yeah, you're talking about the spicy mode.
No, we asked one question the other day on air. I'm like,
I forgot about that.
And I'm not talking to it off air. Like, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then on unhinged mode, it will come up with language that you never thought. I'm like, my God.
All right. So we got different modes.
Oh, yeah. No, and there's argumentative, which is a lot of fun. It will argue with you like crazy. Yeah, and somebody I was hanging out with at the sauna as I'm trying to show it to them.
I just was thinking of someone else.
Like said, hey, why do Black Lives Matter? And now the robot's sitting there arguing about how they don't. And I'm like, oh, no, come on. There are other people here.
Not the conversation you want to have out loud.
I'm like, it's not us. It's Grok.
Right, it's Grok.
It's Elon Musk, the apartheid South Africa guy. It's his
I
thing.
swear it's not me.
It's not. I'm using his thing, but
yeah.
Hey, I love it. It's brilliant technology. Really is.
That's good to hear.
And I think it's just, again, the beginning. Much more impressive to me than ChatGPT at this point.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll continue to keep using that. I don't know if I've seen anything big and breaking. I know Fox News is very upset that Trump's trying to make peace with Russia.
Oh, big time.
Because every little bit of framing about it is like, it's not going to work.
I think somebody might have broke the ceasefire on that earlier.
Well, no, but that from reading the reports yesterday, they didn't get a full ceasefire.
Yeah, it's just for you won't go after my energy.
Yes,
which is a big thing. I don't want people freezing. Nobody wants that.
Well, do you want to hear Trump discuss the whole Putin thing?
I could listen to Trump read a phone book right now.
Really?
Yep. I'm a big fan right now.
You're a big fan of him
fan
still.
of him right now. Yep.
You're still a big fan of him.
Yep.
Okay. Well, this is Trump talking to Laura Ingraham, who was a little feisty last night. Yeah. Asking about the whole Russian the call with Putin. Let's listen in.
We got a readout of your call with Vladimir Putin, and it was a fairly optimistic take. Vladimir Putin agreed to a ceasefire immediately on energy and infrastructure, but not to a 30-day ceasefire. Tell us what happened.
Well, you have a situation. We have a lot of guns pointing at each other foolishly because it would have never happened if I were president. That was not a war that was supposed to happen. And it did happen. So that's where we are. And right now, you have a lot of guns pointing at each other. And a ceasefire without going a little bit further would have been tough. Russia has the advantage, as you know. They have encircled about 2,500 soldiers. They are nicely encircled, and that's not good. And we want to get it over with. Look, we're doing this. There are no Americans involved. There could be if you end up in World War III over this, which is so ridiculous, but, strange things happen. And I think we had a great call. It lasted almost 2 hours, talked about a lot of things and toward getting it to peace. And we talked about other things also.
Well, there's a little sample of that.
Talked about prisoner swap, too, I believe was the thing they were talking about.
Oh, prisoner swap. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100-something folks on both sides.
Yeah, see, they do. They're not like us. They do person for person. They don't do, we'll give you 2,000 if you give us one of ours. Not very effective prisoner swap.
Well, and here's the president's special envoy, Steve Witkoff. Here's how he characterized the call.
It's cool. I thought the call was epic. Jonathan, I thought it was
epic, transformational. Those are the sorts of adjectives that I use about this call. The president and President Trump and President Putin were in sync with one another. The call was outcome oriented. They were talking about how to save lives, how to stop the carnage. And for me, I was proud to be an American sitting there listening to it.
Well, that's pretty positive. So we'll see. To me, it's a wait and see thing.
Yeah.
All this is, especially foreign policy, is the economic stuff. It's all sort of let's implement it and then
See what
wait
happens.
and see.
Yep.
And we have these things called elections. One coming up in 2 years or so.
Elections have consequences, Joey.
And everybody's already starting to posture. I mentioned it earlier before we had Andrew Szymanski on that Gavin Newsom's doing this stupid little podcast.
All I can still see, and I know you're probably tired of hearing it, but it's American Psycho. He's got his own podcast
Well,
now.
and he has this thing where he does I talk with my hands. A lot of people talk with their hands, but his hand motions are really weird. He does it in this clip where he does like this thing, like it's a washboard, but it's his knuckles or whatever. I'm like, what is that? But
if you wear rings, I bet they're popping.
In particular, they're talking here about masculinity. And Tim Walz,
Oh, well, that's his expert?
Mr. French Mistake himself, is going to talk about his masculine identity. Are you ready?
Wow.
Are you ready?
Yeah, get my purse ready.
But I think this notion of, this
he's
notion
doing
of toxicity
like
in
what is that little shimmy thing? That's like a mini Trump dance.
Yes.
But not the full arms. It's like, oh, I'm tight. I'm hand jiving tight right here. Let's keep going.
Masculinity needs to be separated. And I think it's been conflated. And I think we're going to have to.
Let me hear the beginning of that sentence.
But I think this notion of toxicity in masculinity needs to be separated. And I think it's been conflated. And I think we're going to have to work on that a little bit. And I think there is a crisis.
I think some of us scare them.
men.
I think I scare them a little bit why they spend so much time on it. No, I'm serious because I can fix a truck. They know I'm not bullshitting on this. Yeah. I'm not putting this in people's grill. I don't know if my identity is not hunting. My identity is not football coaching. My identity is not, a beard and a truck.
But I think that
just the conversation itself kind of reveals the problem here. Yeah. No, y'all just having the conversation in that way. Excuse me, it sounds womanly. Like we got to separate out the toxicity from the
movements are. It's very.
Well, and I think these
soft.
guys are like scared of me. And it's like, am I talking to a crazy ex-girlfriend, Tim Walz?
Right.
I know how to fix a truck. It's like that is not germane to anything.
I could use a hammer, Joey.
Next, he's going to start bringing up my history. I'm like, you don't even know me.
I drink beer and I know stuff.
Goodness gracious. And their whole identity. That guy over there who voted for Trump, his whole identity is his beard and his truck. And of course, I'm not talking about his facial hair. I'm talking about that wife that keeps up appearances.
That beard.
God. If Gavin Newsom having this guy on makes Gavin look a lot better. I'll give him that.
But real men don't have to worry about looking feminine. They don't. It's not something that crosses their mind. Real men are just men.
Yeah, and it's also like different perspectives, all sorts of walks of life. Like, let's see Tim Walz go hang out with Joe Rogan for 3 hours.
He's scared.
Well, I know how to fix a truck, Joe.
I would love for Joe to say, all right, well, we got 3 trucks here that all have random mistakes. If you can fix one thing on any of them, we'll give you the presidency right now today.
But here's the requirement, Tim. You can't skip. You can't skip.
He's out.
You can't tap your toes together.
He's out.
Or click your heels together up in the air.
Yep.
That's not allowed. I don't care if you change the spark plug correctly, because that's so tough to do.
Ford F-250 it
is. Yeah, it does depend. Well, some of these new vehicles, like good luck even getting in.
If you got hands like a normal man, you cannot work on new vehicles.
No, it's nuts.
You just can't.
Anyway, that's going on. They're trying to, I guess, repurpose. And there's a 3-minute conversation of the masculinity thing, but I think I want to spare everybody.
I can't imagine him talking about masculinity for 3 minutes.
The two of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think their testosterone is between the two of them? A combined score.
Mm.
I'm going to go with under 300. A combined score.
Well, and the other day I heard this from a woman who, Batya, I think is her name. She was on Bill Maher.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, I'm a MAGA leftist. Trump stole all the left's greatest policies, like, the tariffs and economic protectionism and all this stuff. But she explained it brilliantly. She said the Democratic Party used to be the party of the working class.
Yep.
White working class, minorities, civil rights.
Working class, period.
But working class.
Yep.
And slowly but surely, they became the party that catered to upper middle class to rich white women.
Yeah.
So maybe if you change your focus of who you're actually trying to talk to, you might start sounding a little more, for lack of a better term, manly. Because the whole framing, the whole way they go about this right now, again, for lack of a better term, sounds womanly.
I like a good woman.
And why don't more women listen to the show?
What are you talking about? We have women listen all the time. Got one on hold right now.
Hey, T-Spear, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, and I actually have 2 different Dremel tools, one corded, one uncorded. I have 2 different drills, an 18-volt cordless and a corded drill.
Yeah.
I have 4 different size cameras to do 4 different size jobs.
Yeah,
I
it's good to have different sizes.
by myself without any difficulty or any assistance from a man.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, I cook my own food, I have my own grill, and I own my own house. I don't need somebody like Sam Waltz telling me what to do.
Everybody's worried about these humanoid robots. Women have been replacing men with robots for a long time.
Well, I have news for you. I don't want a robot. I don't necessarily want a man 24 hours in my life, but I'd like to hold hands every now and then.
Yeah.
I'd like to go out to dinner and have an intelligent conversation with an intelligent man.
Good luck.
Unfortunately, you 2 aren't around here.
Well, like I said, good luck.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. But mainly why I called was for your previous visitor and his ranting and raving about what a great job they were doing in Montgomery, and everybody ought to come. Everybody ought to move there.
Yeah.
Here it is, sir. Until you get your crime problem in hand, there are people like us who you couldn't pay me to go visit my beautiful capital city.
You're right.
There is no way. There's nothing in Montgomery. If I have to come to Montgomery, this is what I do. I have a list of errands. I go do those errands. I get back in my vehicle and I come home. I do not anymore go to visit the zoo, which we have a great little zoo.
Yeah, we do.
I do not visit any of the museums in downtown Montgomery, which are tremendous. They are a history of this country like no other. The young children of our state have lost a huge educational benefit when they can't go to Montgomery because of the danger in Montgomery. And I blame men like him for doing that. When he brings up places like Philadelphia, you seen their crime rate lately? How about Baltimore, Chattanooga, Memphis, Atlanta? Macon's cleaned up. Do you know why Macon's cleaned up? Because otherwise the Air Force is going to move out. And they can't afford for the Air Force to move out.
Neither can we.
No. So therefore, people like him can go shove it up his posterior.
I see.
And do the right thing for the people of Montgomery. Clean up the crime and then worry about bringing the houses in. Until you clean up the crime, you can build that $350,000 nice little house sitting there. And nobody's going to buy it because they don't want the bullets in it that are already in the windows. Until you do that, you can kiss off having a town. And if you think you've done a good job, perhaps maybe you should move back up north where they accept that kind of thing. We don't accept that kind of thing down south.
Well, damn.
I don't, and if I have to come to Montgomery, you better believe you do not want to approach my vehicle. period.
I hear what you're saying.
So therefore, he and the mayor need to stop hiring the social justice warriors, and they need to put real police officers on the streets. They need to put real judges that will send these little thuglet crooks to prison for a long time. You know, you commit crime with a gun, you don't need bail. You need a prison sentence. And if you have murdered somebody, you need to be in rope ornament within 48 hours of the guilty verdict. You want to end crime. That is how you end crime. And for those people who say, well, you know, death penalty doesn't deter anything. You know what? That guy that murdered somebody ain't going to come back and commit murder again.
Well,
therefore, Mr. Whoever you are, stick it in your jacksie. Guys, thanks a lot. Y'all are doing a good job. Don't forget there are some women who actually know how to change bushings in a carburetor. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
And of course, we'll be having Andrew Szymanski on monthly like we always do. We still love you, Andrew. Certain women in Auburn, I guess not. Damn.
Yeah.
272-9228. You know, I tried to watch Elon Musk on Sean Hannity's show.
Yeah.
It was like a 20-minute video on YouTube.
How was that, buddy?
And I'm like, Sean, did part of your brain fall out after you got that work done to try to look younger? Just made you look like a lizard?
Yeah, it kind of pulled too tight.
No, I was literally having to fast through Hannity's questions. Like, just get to Elon here. It's like, oh my God. Especially getting a little more background, the good, the bad, and the ugly of Musk. Yeah. Like, the way Hannity is serving this up is just...
Well, you know Hannity likes to hear himself talk.
It was just a very boomer thing, though.
There we go.
It's a very boomer... Anyway, I'll stop it. I'll stop it with the generational sniping.
Your generation ain't all that grand now.
I know! Okay. I'm just saying it's a different flavor. And this is like...
And we own all the houses, by the way.
Hey, brilliant man. Can you sum up a point in about a minute after I vaguely ramble about your accomplishments?
No. No, not at all.
Could we package this like it's a commercial for crap that you don't need? Like it's a Medicare supplemental. Can you package your accomplishments, Elon? Like you're some pilot that needs a catheter?
Yeah, that's what, honestly, that's what they want.
Elon, could you package the accomplishments that you've already achieved as though you're trying to warn people about mesothelioma? Anyway,
wrap it up.
I think this is largely cuts Hannity out, asking about all the terrorism going on. Let's listen in.
Countries. You're working on helping the blind see and all of these other things. Is it really come down to the basic, you're aligned with President Donald Trump, who also is a friend of mine, and that you have identified well over $100 billion in waste, fraud, abuse that our federal government never should have been spending? Is that what it comes down to?
Yeah, it turns out when you take away people's, what the money they're receiving fraudulently, they get very upset, and they basically want to kill me because I'm stopping their fraud, and they want to hurt Tesla because we're stopping this terrible waste and corruption in the government. And well, I guess they're bad people. Bad people do bad things.
No, all I can see is this guy who is freaking brilliant, off the charts, but he's also the type that goes and like holds himself up and plays Elden Ring, if you know that reference, if you're over 40. And like will hold up and play Elden Ring for 8 straight hours. And like all I can see is the nerd who wants to go to Mars having to sit here and talk to Sean Hannity.
What's wrong with Hannity?
I guess nothing.
He gets a few viewers every night, right? He does have a few. He's got a following.
I know.
I mean,
and so did Wayne Newton for years. So did Barry Manilow. Just because something's popular.
Just
too great. Oh, too great. Now you're going to sing me a verse of Donkashay?
I love me some Donkashay.
Yeah, when? When's the last time you listened to Donkashay?
Last time we watched Ferris Bueller come through, so probably, I don't know, a week or so ago. It's always on a run, so.
I'm just on this, it's hard for me to explain trying to listen to Elon, and you've got Sean Hannity trying to.
That's because you can't get over your hate for Sean Hannity.
Yeah, maybe it's an irrational hate, but it's still there.
I understand it might still be there. Sounds like something you need to work on.
How about this? Let's hit a break.
Right.
And see who's on the phones here. Darling Donkashay.
How could you not like Wayne Newton?
No, I do. I was just ranting.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. And we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years. And now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
The 21st Annual Autism Crawfish Boil, benefiting Easter Seals of Central Alabama, is April 5th at Riverwalk Stadium. Proceeds from this fun family event benefit autism programs at Easter Seals of Central Alabama. Enjoy all-you-can-eat crawfish, live music, and even a baseball game. The Autism Crawfish Boil, April 5th at Riverwalk Stadium. Stay and eat or grab them and go. Scan or visit mudbugball.com to purchase tickets and get info on curbside pickup.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Pestruccelli, General Sales Manager and co-owner of Blue Water Broadcasting. For over 21 years, Blue Water Broadcasting has been a proud part of the River region. We're not just a company, we're your neighbors. Our owners, air staff, account executives, and support team all live right here. We believe in this community, and we stand by our slogan, Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of H&H Carpets across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway, where right now you can get 1,050 square feet of carpet installed for $19.95 only at H&H Carpets in Montgomery.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. After all of this warmth, we got some big changes ahead. If you have evening plans, we're dry, but showers and thunderstorms become likely late tonight through the overnight hours. It will become windy, low 49. Then for the day on Thursday, much cooler by several degrees. Sunshine, but a high temperature only in the upper 50s. The winds will make it seem colder. In fact, Thursday night, just plain cold, low 35. Expect areas of frost on Friday morning. Sunshine, 67 Friday, 74 Sunday, near 80 Sunday with more sun. Next chance of showers and storms Sunday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has digital banking solutions to help you keep up. Check balances, pay bills, and much more. Learn more at cbsbank.com. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for information. Member FDIC.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
You know, Eddie off air is talking about love at a certain age.
Yeah.
Dating at a certain age.
Yep.
I tell you what, if you and all the folks older than you keep giving me advice about how I should date, how I should fight, I'm going to cut it off.
Don't do that, Joey. Regret.
It'll be a regret.
It'll be a regret. Because that next
get
day,
rid of it.
That next day is when you'll meet the love of your life. Yep. And she'll be so disappointed.
Yeah, but like I already made a decision.
Love can change you just like that. Turn you from an Alabama fan to an Auburn fan, or vice versa.
So if I'm like 90,
you
still haven't met him.
Nah, 54.
54?
54.
Wait, how old are you?
Which time, Joey? 55 now, Joey.
Okay, so you're past that age.
But I will say this, and a lot of my friends are single and becoming single, which is strange. I can't imagine dating in my 50s. I can't imagine dating in my 60s. I cannot imagine that. It just, the anxiety and all that teenage anxiety all over again. Oh, no thanks. No thanks.
Well, and all these folks are like, you got all these Peter Pan men out there. I'm like, what's wrong with Peter Pan? At least he has fun.
There's a lot of things wrong with Peter Pan.
Yeah, there's a lot of things wrong. The whole Tinkerbell archetype too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. Got a lot of Tinkerbells on OnlyFans. Let's go to Papa B. Hey, Papa B.
Papa B.
All right. Well, real cream guy, phone cake dad. Not a really good combination. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
I'm wondering though, how many viewers does he have? Does he have more viewers than MSNBC on his podcast?
I don't think so. And another thing that I noticed in yesterday's news was you know that the Gaia Mother Earth worshipers just had to be jumping off a cliff with the dolphins swimming around, the Elon Musk rescue space capsule. It's like the mother, the environmentalist wackos. No, don't bless him. Don't bless him like that. Dolphins, what are you doing? No.
I loved it.
I did too. It was like a perfect ending to a perfect event. They just really, it was just a great thing. Well, the reason I called though is about, the press secretary's name again, that young lady.
Pam Bondi?
No, Caroline Levitt.
Caroline Levitt, yeah.
Right. Yeah, well, she, was trying to point out the fact that, Bingberg's, the judge, whatever his name is, that wants the criminals back from wherever they were sent to. It turns out, his daughter is a member of a group that actually profits from defending, these illegal aliens. She gets her money from one of the NGOs or something like that. The press secretary was trying to point that out, as is his wife, by the way. As the you said, USAID money. Look, this is where the grift happens. Okay, so this guy's a judge. But his family gets money from these NGOs, so this is where all the money laundering takes place, and it's given to favored, members of the family of favored people like this judge. The point being that this judge really had no reason or no right really to even talk about it. He should have recused himself. That was the proper thing to do. He has too much personal interest in these particular decisions he was making to even rule on the case. But no, the story turns out to be like you were describing yesterday, poop-flavored cotton candy. Is that what you?
Cotton doo-doo flavored cotton candy. They spin it up, and in a way, it's kind of impressive. They pulled it off, and they just feed it to you. And you're like, Mom, this is what cotton candy tastes like. No, it tastes like doo-doo.
So she made I'm not going to call it a mistake. It was a word choice that maybe if she had, I wouldn't have thought about it any differently, but, just like the leftists, they do all the time. Well, this judge was appointed by Bush. This judge was appointed by Trump. And therefore that, eliminates any credibility that he has. Well, she pointed out that the judge was appointed by Obama. Well, he was to the post that he's appointed to now, but he was, in technical terms, appointed by Bush and advanced by Obama. And there's the story. Oh, what a tale she told. Oh, what a mistake she made. Oh, it's a mistake. It's an error. Look at what a disgrace she is. She can't even speak correctly. And there's the story. No, it's not about this money-grubbing daughter and wife of Boberg or whatever his name is, judge, or the fact that he is wanting to keep the recruited criminal gang in the country. No, it's about, a word choice mistake. I declare, can we ever get these people to focus in on saying what the story is really about, Joey?
No.
I can't take it.
No.
Don't even try.
It's just going to be that way. We got to keep going. We got to keep on moving. Keep on doing. They need to move faster. More, dude.
Yeah, well, the good news is they cannot keep that story under wraps anymore. Now that you have Excite and all these other places, the news is getting out. Well, the judge is corrupt. That's the reason he should have recused himself. But no, they're not gonna be able to keep this up. The other thing that's just fascinating. Now I know you got to move on. Why in the world, Joey, a judge or anybody else would want to keep a criminal, murderous group of gang members, international now in their scope, in this country? The answer is not good. There's no good answer for it. You tell me one good answer for it. I don't know one. It certainly doesn't have anything to do with the rule of law. You're talking about criminals. What? You want to defend? He wants to defend the rights of these. It's just so rich that nobody can just, they can't mistake it.
The whole strategy here is sort of the adult political equivalent of I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, as their hands like a centimeter away from your face. And what they want Trump to do, you'll see it with protest and violent rioting. You'll see it with some of these judges making absurd rulings. They want Trump to punch back so they can be like, see, I told you. The violence inherent in the system and this authoritarian cast of mind the right wing has right now.
You got that right. I'm telling you.
Exactly.
Well, another reason is because they want those criminals in here for a reason. This is part of their, I guess, domestic army that Obama wanted. You're not going to convince me otherwise. There was a reason it wasn't good. But anyway, all right, guys, thanks a lot.
Appreciate it, Papa B.
See you, Papa B.
272-9228. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And that River Region Contracting is Todd Clark and the team. They're ready to help you.
Oh, yeah.
Whether you have a shingle, asphalt roof,
or maybe you got a metal roof, Joey.
Both can have unique problems that you should get inspected every few years. We've been suggesting do it annually.
Why not?
More of an awful storm rolls through, like recently.
Well, in Alabama, those 3-4 times a year.
Right. If you just want peace of mind after hearing bumps in the middle of the night, why not call it River Region Contracting? And the great news is their inspections are always free.
Yes, they are, Joey.
And if they find a problem, they'll write up an estimate for free. It's accurate. They show up on time. They get the job done well. Then they'll sit down with you and explain exactly what the problem is, exactly how they're going to fix it. They're not going to be bothered about explaining it or educating you on exactly what they're doing at all, and their insurance specialists, so they can walk you through the claims process and make sure, well, it's a smooth and easy experience. You'll check them out today. That number for River Region Contracting, they're not associated with any other roofing company here in the River Region. It's Todd Clark at River Region Contracting, 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Is your business feeling the heat of cyber attacks? Tired of worrying about ransomware, data breaches, downtime, and employee mistakes? GTI Managed IT Solutions has been your trusted partner since 1999, safeguarding and supporting businesses like yours from the ever-evolving threats in the digital world. GTI, your peace of mind is guaranteed. Call us today at 819-4650 or visit gtinow.com.
No one wants to wait on service for an overhead door. With 20 years in the industry, you now have access to the best with All Access Overhead Door. All Access Overhead Doors offers prompt professional service at affordable prices on all service and new garage doors for residential and commercial locations. All Access Overhead Door serves the River Region and can take care of whatever you need when it comes to your overhead door. Remember, you have access to the best. All Access Overhead Door. Call and schedule an appointment today. 320-2440. And like them on Facebook. They sell the best and service the rest.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Welcome back. Oh, let's go right to the phones and talk to Howard Dean.
Let's do that.
Hey, Howard Dean.
Hey, gentlemen. I come with a point, and then on hold, you give me so much other material that it's hard to keep my concentration.
Yes.
But I got three real quick for you. I know we're pressed for time. As far as Peter Pan, Susan Woody went stretching through the lines as that part, so that is probably the end of that conversation.
No, I'm back to Peter Pan. It's cool.
Now, when I say you, that doesn't mean you. It's a broad brush. If you honestly believe that we could have punched through the firmament to send somebody into space to get trapped on a International Space Station to begin with, which happened to get saved by Jean-Luc Musk, that's another one for you. I don't believe it. But anyhow,
okay.
And then to end it all on this gender and things and identifying and all that stuff, I mean, it should be fair-based for me. I've just come to this realization that I'm going to go with a little tiny shovel to the park, and I'm going to dig a little tiny hole and put my feet in it, cover it back up with the dirt, strip down to the bare essentials, and then if somebody tries to accost me, I identify as a walnut tree, and they should not be able to, call me out. I should be able to express my walnut treeness.
Yeah. Walnuts, huh?
Yep.
We don't have to go any further than that.
Appreciate it, Howard D.
Thanks, Howard.
272-9228. Let's go to Smoking Otis. Hey, Smoking Otis.
Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I know you got to go to old Ray Bolts here in just a second, so I'm going to make this short. I have a question for Eddie over there. I know you're a Busch Light drinker, my man. Like that stuff, don't you?
Yeah, he's calling up Ray right now. Eddie, Smoking is asking, you're a Busch Light man. You like that stuff, don't you?
Yes, sir.
You do?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
He do. Okay, I wanted to ask him, do he prefer bottled or canned beer?
Can. It depends. On the Busch Light, I'm okay with the I'm okay in the can, but on a lot of other beers, I'd rather have out of bottle.
Yeah, well, they got some Busch Light in a bottle in Montgomery in one place that I know of anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, I just curious. I taste that aluminum when I drink out of the can.
Yeah,
so,
that's why, like with certain beers, I can't drink them out of the can.
Yeah, but Eddie likes glowing in the dark, so.
Yeah, well, as a young, never mind. Yeah.
That clears it up for me. Now, y'all going to tell old Ray I said, hey.
We'll do it, Smoking Otis. Thank you, brother.
What's that glowing tree on the bank there, Dad? Oh, son, that's just a walnut tree.
That's all that is.
Let's go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray.
How y'all doing today?
Pretty good. How you doing, Ray?
All right.
Well, I had a bad hair day.
Oh?
Yeah, it's like blowing every which way. Annie's in the truck with me. We went to Georgia, and she just keeps giving me dirty looks. And I finally said, what are you looking at? She said, your hair. And I looked down and said, oh, yeah, I forgot to fix it this morning.
Well, you could be like Joey and just wear a hat.
Yeah, my hair is, the front of my hair goes like here. Like I have a lot of hair. I need to get a haircut.
Yeah, I probably need a haircut. But now we're actually in Columbus, just crossed over into Alabama. We picked up Angie a new dog today.
Oh, cool.
Actually, I picked up me a new dog. I just said, telling everybody it's her dog.
I understand how that works.
That's wise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been wanting a Doberman Pinscher forever. So I finally found one, and it was 4 hours away.
Wow.
So I played hooky and went and got me a Doberman Pinscher.
That's cool. Now, what you going to name him, Ray?
His name is Apollo.
Oh, great.
I like
name.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good Doberman name.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Shout back to Magnum P.I.
That's what I was thinking.
Remember
on Magnum P.I. he had 2 Dobermans. I don't remember what the other one was, but Apollo. And they used to chase Magnum on the regular. Zeus, that's right. Zeus and Apollo. Release the hounds.
Yeah, actually, Sailor came up with the name last night. He's like, before you get the dog, it's got to be Apollo. I said, I'm all in.
That's a good one.
But if y'all need a floor, guys are all there working. Call them at 285-8117. They'll come back and give you a free measurement. And within a week or so, you got a floor down. Just that simple.
Again, that's 285-8117. When you call them up at 285-8117, be sure to tell them that you heard Ray Bowles on the radio with Joey and Eddie.
Guys, have a great day.
See you, Ray.
Well, that's cool. Getting a new dog.
Yeah, it's cool. That's always
good
good
day. It's always a good day. Yeah. My hair is way too long. I need to get a haircut.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Oh, goodness.
I would say
gracious. Yeah, that's a little much. That looks awful too.
Yeah, emo Joey.
Yeah, I could do the JD Vance thing for sure.
Yeah, that one day you showed me that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh goodness gracious! See, this is why I wear a hat.
Or you could get what they call a haircut.
No,
a little maintenance every once in a while.
Because when I get it cut, I'm reminded I'm still ugly.
And what now?
I'm an equilibrium of ugly. I'm used to it ugly.
I got you. You're not fresh ugly.
Right. Where it's like, oh, you got a new look, but you're
still ugly.
Yeah.
I get that.
You know what I mean?
I can get
people
that,
at least get used to your ugly. And then
I get it, because when I used to get haircuts, especially as a kid, it was always usually a buzz cut, and then always, look what these lumps in your head. Yes, those scrabble. Yes, I'll have to watch out for that.
And why do you have the folds on the back of the neck?
Hot dog
what
neck.
You power lifter?
Got a hot dog neck back there, Joey.
Hot dog neck. You got a John Fetterman growth going on back there. So we didn't get to the crazy story of the Indiana teacher sleeping with all these young boys in the high school. She blamed it on her weight loss.
I still don't understand that, but okay.
I don't really understand that either.
Well, don't forget, ASU and Auburn are going to play in the basketball tournament.
Yeah.
Yes. ASU won, I think it was last night, literally last second, which was amazing. Great game. So I think tomorrow, about 1:50, they're played together. ASU versus Auburn. Here we go, baby.
ASU's going to get destroyed.
I say that, but at the same time,
watch us eat our words. But
right.
you know,
that's the great thing about
that
March
is
Madness.
Fantastic for Alabama State.
Yeah,
and I know they've been working hard.
Yeah,
to
because they
get
upset
into
the
tournament.
crap out of. Darn it, I can't think who they played, but they upset the crap out of them.
Oh, and if Alabama State upsets Auburn, that's
you're not going to get. I'm not getting mad.
That's what a story.
No,
I mean, I don't know if I won't get mad.
I don't get mad. I think and I even said
kind
this
of
with
ruined my
Alabama.
bracket though
A little bit, but anytime anything from Alabama gets ahead, even when it's the Crimson Tide, I have a sense of pride about that. That's my people. That's my state.
Really?
Yep. I mean, it's better when it's Auburn, but it just never happens.
On that note,
just saying.
Well, sometimes I got to work on my pride.
You got to go to that Tiger Pride store.
Yeah. Give haircuts there. How about this? Happy Hour with Greg Beadell. He's next. Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.